Hey everybody, welcome on our channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the Airbender Extraordinaire? Part 2. If you are new on the channel, don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video too. So without wasting any more time, let's start the story. Naruto flew all the way towards the Eastern Air Temple. Apparently when he got to the Southern Air Temple, Tenzin and his family had left to the Eastern Air Temple, which annoyed him greatly, and the fact that everyone was bugging him with excited questions since they knew he was an airbender because of a letter that was sent to his fellow airbenders. He was busy reading a book about the temple. He was kind of interested, but when he saw the treasures that the temple had, he became very interested. Am I really going to steal from a place that my ancestors considered spiritual and beauty divine? Naruto asked himself. New generation, different lifestyle. Naruto said with a shrug. He then noticed what looked like the temple in the distance. Show time, I guess. Naruto said as he placed the book back into his duffel bag. Naruto saw Mamoru sleeping on the floor. Lazy little bastard. Naruto said with a smirk. Near Eastern Air Temple. Naruto parked the blimp a little away from the air temple so he wouldn't be spotted. He wasn't sure how the people would react if they saw him land in front of them, so he decided to land a little away from the people's line of sight. After waking Mamoru so the fox kid could hide within the bag, he made his way up the mountain towards the Eastern Air Temple. Eastern Air Temple. Naruto had made it to the temple and looked around as he saw some acolytes. Naruto decided to sneak around the temple, seeing as he doesn't want to get spotted and be bombarded with questions from acolytes again. No doubt they would go insane over there being another airbender who isn't related to Avatar like the others did. As Naruto sneaked into the temple, he decided to search around and check out the ancient artifacts. Naruto managed to find some ancient vases and jewelry in some of the rooms he explored. He borrowed some of the jewelry, figuring no one would use them, as he explored more of the temple. As he continued to travel, he passed by a door which made him stop in his tracks as he walked back towards it. Naruto then noticed a name carved onto the door. Mito. Wait a minute. This is my great-great-grandma's name. Naruto thought as he then entered the room. He saw that it was a regular room, but then he noticed a book on a table. He grabbed it and opened it to see strange things he never heard of or seen before. Shinobi. Jutsu. Uzumaki. What the hell is this? Naruto questioned within his mind, but then he noticed a drawing of a necklace with a crystal gem attached to it. Wait a minute, isn't that? Naruto then opened his duffel bag and reached in it as he then grabbed something and took it out to reveal the same necklace. Naruto then grabbed the book as he read it. The necklace of the first Hokage. What's a Hokage? And why does it sound so familiar? Naruto thought. Naruto then put the necklace inside his pocket as he checked out more of the book, but then he stopped as he saw a drawing of the giant nine-tailed fox he saw from his dream back in Republic City. Kyubi no Kitsune. Naruto thought as he stared at the page. One of the nine-tailed beasts. Naruto then closed the book as he stared at its untitled cover. This book may prove useful. Plus it is kind of my birthright if you think about it. Naruto thought. Suddenly something grabbed the book making Naruto look up to see a dragonfly bunny spirit holding it from its mouth. What the hell? Naruto said as he stared at the spirit with surprise. The dragonfly bunny then flew out the room's window with the book still in its mouth. Hey! Naruto shouted as he grabbed his duffel bag and jumped out the window. Naruto then used his airbending skills to soften his fall as he then dashed after the spirit. As Naruto chased after the spirit, the acolyte saw him chasing after what they saw was a flying book. Among them was Bumi who now thought that he saw everything. Oh, I can't wait to tell the others about this. Bumi said as he made his way to where his family were. But Jinora. Jinora was playing with several of her new dragonfly bunny spirit friends in the garden as another came to her with a book. What's this? Jinora asked as she grabbed the book from the dragonfly bunny spirit's mouth. It's my birthright. Jinora looked up only to gasp in shock as she saw the airbender from Republic City. I'm guessing you can see the little guys too. Naruto said as he walked up to her. Jinora just nodded dumbly as she blushed in his presence. Naruto then extended his hand to her meaning that he wanted the book back. Jinora then gave him his book as Naruto then opened it to make sure the spirit didn't mess it up, which thankfully it didn't. You're the airbender that my family heard about. Jinora said. Depends, were there pictures that proved so? Naruto asked. Jinora answered with a nod. Then yeah, that was me. Naruto said closing the book. Wow. Jinora said looking at him with awe. So what are you doing here? Jinora asked. Let's just say, you're not the only one who's encountered spirits by themselves. Naruto said. But Tenzin and his family. Tenzin and his family were spending some quality family time when suddenly Bumi walked in. You guys won't believe what I had just seen. I just saw a flying book. Bumi said. Everyone just looked at him with disinterest. Really? Kaya said. Yep. Oh, and I also saw that blonde airbender from Republic City chasing after it. Crazy day, huh? Yumi said with a smile which gave everyone shocked looks upon their faces. But Jinora and Naruto. I've never heard of spirits called tailed beasts. Jinora said sitting on the grass as she stared at pictures of creatures called tailed beasts. I don't even think my father ever heard of these spirits. I actually feel like I know them somehow, but I don't think I ever encounter anything relating to them before. Naruto said leaning against a pillar. So are there any more airbenders out there? Jinora asked. Well, I guess I can spill. From one airbender to another. Naruto said as Jinora listened in carefully. Yes. In fact, there are 4 other airbenders out there. I should know. I used to live with them. Naruto said with a smirk. Wow. More airbenders. Jinora said with amazement. So now my question. Is Korra anywhere around here? Naruto asked. No, sorry. Jinora said. Dang. Naruto said. But you're welcome to stay if you want. I'm sure my dad would want to meet you. Jinora said with a smile. Well, that giant furball did tell me to meet your father and learn the original ways of airbending. Naruto said as he rubbed his chin with his finger as he started thinking it over, but then he heard Jinora giggle, which made him turn to her, making her stop and blush in embarrassment. Sorry, it's just you called a spirit furball and it made me laugh. Jinora said. Naruto laughed at this. That's good to hear. Naruto said with a grin which made Jinora smile. See, I told you he was here. Naruto and Jinora turned to see Yumi and Tenzin. And look, Jinora's with him and she has the book he was chasing. Yumi said. Tenzin made his way to Naruto, who got his back off of the pillar. So you're Tenzin. Naruto said. And you must be the airbender we've heard about from the letter. Tenzin said. The one and only, I guess. Naruto said as he lifted up his fist for a fist bump, but Tenzin just looked at it with a raised eyebrow. I'm guessing you never had of a fist bump? Naruto asked. No. Tenzin said. Oh. Naruto said, putting down his fist. Naruto and Tenzin just stared at each other for a moment, staying silent. The two then examined the other's clothing, seeing it to be distasteful to them. Well, this should be an interesting experience. Naruto and Tenzin thought. Dad, Naruto wanted to ask you to teach him the original ways of airbending. Jinora said. So you never learned them? Tenzin asked Naruto. Nah. I mean, my dad tried to teach me, but I was always used to airbending my own way. Naruto said with a proud smirk. So you made your own way to airbend? Yumi asked. Pretty much. Naruto said with a shrug. By the way, who's the guy who sort of reminds me of a monkey? Naruto asked Tenzin, making Yumi pout and Jinora giggling at the monkey remark. That would be my brother Yumi, and yes, he kind of is like a monkey. Tenzin said. Anyway, if you wish to learn the original ways of airbending, then please follow me. Tenzin said as he turned and left with Naruto, Yumi and Jinora following, but before Naruto and Jinora left they turned to the dragonfly bunny spirits and waved goodbye to them. In a concrete training ground. Tenzin and Naruto stood in the middle of the training ground, with Tenzin's family and air acolytes watching in wonder at what this new airbender was capable of. So what's the first step? Naruto asked as he placed his duffel bag on the floor. Because I know it has nothing to do with bringing the smackdown to your enemies. Naruto said, crossing his arms. No. Airbending is more of a defensive use against enemies. In fact, airbenders usually prefer evasive maneuvers instead of direct contact. Tenzin said. A lot of fun that is. Naruto thought sarcastically with a dull look on his face. Now, I believe we should start with the basics. Tenzin said. Yeah, or Naruto then lifted his legs up as he was now floating in a sitting position with his leg over the other and his hands behind his head. We can skip it and go to the fun stuff. I've always wanted to learn how to properly do that air scooter thing. Naruto said with a smile. Such mastery of levitation. Tenzin said with amazement. Not bad, huh? But check this out. Naruto said as he then shot up into the sky and started flying around. Everyone looked at him in shock, but none more than Tenzin and Jinora. You're flying? Tenzin said. Yeah, can't you do it? Naruto asked as he descended as he rested his hands underneath his chin. No. No airbender has been able to do this, except for one. Tenzin said. Really? Who's the first? Naruto asked as he landed in front of Tenzin. Urugima. He was the one who discovered this ability. For the last 40 years of his life, he used his discovery of flight to stay in the air, untethered to the earth itself. Tenzin said. So I'm the only living guy who can do this. Nice. Naruto said with a proud smirk. I'm very shocked. I actually never believed this ability was even possible. I always thought the ability of flight was just a tall tale. Tenzin said. Well, I guess I proved you wrong. Naruto said with a beefy attitude. Oh, and by the way, I bet I'm the first who can do this. Naruto said as he moved away from Tenzin and started concentrating on gathering wind around his entire body. The wind started to become fierce and intense and yet controlled, but what was most shocking was that the wind transformed into a dragon-made wind. Then in one swift motion, Naruto thrust his hand forward as the wind dragon flew from the direction of his fist. It flew into the sky with a fierce roar, and then as it reached high into the sky, Naruto clenched his hand into a fist. It exploded into a huge sphere of fierce wind for a few moments before it vanished. Made up that technique myself. Naruto said with a smirk as he placed his hands on his hips. Everyone looked at Naruto with shock and awe. Wow, Jinora, Ikki and Milo said in amazement. Incredible. Tenzin said breathlessly as he stared up into the sky. So it's obvious that I don't need the basics. Naruto said turning to Tenzin. Flashy and impressive moves aren't enough. Tenzin said. Oh come on. Naruto said as he then did an underhand swing which led to a blade of wind rode against the floor until it hit a pillar, leaving a scar in it. I know my bending can also be an extension of my body, so let's just get down to the original airbending stuff. Well, the original airbending stuff as you call it is almost purely defensive. Tenzin said, ignoring the fact that Naruto harmed a piece of the temple, even though it irritated him. Well, defense is never usually my thing. I'm more of a man who goes in for the direct approach. Naruto said. Just like Korra. Tenzin thought with some sadness and dread. But I guess since a spirit told me to learn this stuff then I guess I got no choice. Naruto said. You talked to a spirit? Tenzin asked with shock. Yeah, he told me to come here and I quote find the bald mama's boy Tenzin and learn the original ways of airbending from him. Naruto said. Yumi then laughed out loud as Kaya giggled while Tenzin felt annoyed and disappointed. Bald mama's boy. It fits. Ha 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 ha. Yumi said as he continued to laugh. Anyway, besides pure defense, what else is there to original airbending? Naruto asked. Well, there's meditation. Tenzin said. Ah crap. Naruto said with distraught. Something wrong? Tenzin asked, not liking Naruto's choice of words, especially in front of his children. I'm not really one for meditation. Naruto said. And the reason why? Back when I was young I was always considered the energetic little fast-talking, loud-mouth idiot who couldn't stay still or keep quiet for more than a minute. In a way, not much has changed. Naruto confessed. Sounds like someone we know. Pima said as she, Milo and Jinora looked at Ikki. What? Ikki questioned as she noticed the look she was getting from her family. Well, if you really want to learn the original ways of airbending, then you must learn meditation. It is an essential part of airbending. Tenzin said. Ah man. Naruto said. Mamoru then came out of the duffel bag and yawned, gaining everyone's attention. You really like sleeping a lot, don't you Mamoru? Naruto said. Later in the afternoon. Naruto got the defensive thing down easily since he was so used to using his bending in combat, but when it came to meditation, he still was having some problems. Naruto said, sitting in a lotus position as his fists put together in between his legs. He then felt his nose tickle, but then he regained concentration. As Naruto concentrated he then felt something climbed onto his head as a tail started tickling his nose. He tried to concentrating, but the tail was too much for him as he then shook his head. Son of a. Please, don't finish that sentence. Tenzin said. Everyone was in a part of the temple, the one where Tenzin's family was staying when Korra came in, as they relaxed, while Tenzin observed Naruto's progress, while Mamoru tried to advance his best friend's training a bit by trying to mess up his concentration. Get off my head you orange rat. Naruto exclaimed as he tried swatting at Mamoru who jumped off of his head. How was that? Naruto asked. Better, but still needs work. Tenzin said. Damn. Naruto cursed. Language? Tenzin said. I grew up in the street without a parent or legal guardian for most of my life, get used to the colorful language. Naruto said, making Tenzin sigh. Maybe we should take a break. Tenzin said. Sounds good to me. Naruto said, standing up and making his way to the nearest table where Tenzin's kids were. As Naruto sat down he sighed as he grabbed his duffel bag, which was placed near the table, and reached in to grab a can of soda. After taking it out and opening it, Naruto was about to drink from it, but then he saw Tenzin's kids looking at him with smiles and eyes of wonder. Hi. Naruto said. Hi, I'm Ikki. What's your name? Are you really a criminal? Are you a master airbender? Are there more airbenders out there? Who's the fox? And do you have a girlfriend? Ikki introduced herself as she then bombarded Naruto with questions. Hi. I'm Naruto. Pretty much, but I'm more of an outlaw. I can't really answer that last one with a fact, but in opinion, hell yes. Sadly yes, there are others. The fox is my best friend and partner Mamoru. And that last one hard to say, but let's leave it at most likely. Naruto said, answering Ikki's questions as he sipped his can of soda. Ikki whined at that last one, making the other three young benders look at her with a raised eyebrow. I mean, yeah, I'm so happy for you. Ikki said with fake joy. So now I know the girls of the group, so who are you, mini-man? Naruto asked Milo. I'm no mini-man. Milo exclaimed as he puffed out his chest. I'm a real man. Suddenly Naruto laughed at this. Sorry, it's just you kind of remind me of my stupid older brother. Naruto said with a smile as he scratched the back of his head. Not that you're stupid mini-man. I'm not a mini-man. I'm Milo. And you're going to respect me. Milo said with gusto. Well, it's nice to meet you, Milo. Naruto said. You have an older brother? Is he an airbender too? Jinora asked. Yeah, he is. Naruto said, remembering his elder brother as he sipped from his soda. Wow, do you have any other siblings? Jinora asked. Just a twin sister. I was born before her though. Naruto said. And she's an airbender too? Ikki asked. Yeah, that bossy bookworm. Naruto said, remembering his twin. Bossy bookworm? Jinora questioned. Did you even get along with your brother and sister? Ikki asked. Sometimes, but they were usually a pain. Naruto said. How so? Jinora asked. Well, my twin was always the smart one, always reading books and stuff, but she was always reserved, calm, clear-headed, serious, and mom always called her the most mature and responsible of us three, but she seemed always mean and bossy to me. Naruto said, remembering his sister. I know exactly what you mean. Ikki said with a smile as she rested her face on her hands, while Jinora looked at her with narrowed eyes, knowing she was referring to her. And yet can be as unpredictable as well. I don't know something unpredictable. I know exactly what he means. Tenzin thought. And my brother, an enthusiastic, super energetic goofball who disrupts anything calm. He's comical, but rambunctious. This caused Ikki and Jinora to look at Milo, who was picking his nose. I will admit he was brave though, but he was basically a wild child who had dreams of becoming part of the United Forces, even though he always acted like the youngest of us, telling tall tales about the awesome things he's done. Naruto said, causing Tenzin and Kaya to look at Yumi, who was picking at his teeth. Those two were a pain in my neck. It sounds like they were nice though. Jinora said with a smile. Yeah, when they weren't making fun of me. Naruto said, narrowing his eyes to the side. What did they think of you? Ikki asked. An energetic, overly hyperactive, talkative loudmouth who couldn't stop moving for a second or even keep quiet at all. Naruto said. Sounds like someone I know. Jinora said, looking at Ikki. Ikki noticed the look which made her narrow her eyes at her sister as she blew a raspberry at her elder sister. So did they like you or not? Milo asked. I don't think they did. Naruto said. Why not? Ikki asked. Because dad always spent time with me and not them. Naruto said, earning not only the three airbender siblings' attention, but Tenzin, Yumi and Kaya's, who were shocked at hearing this. Why did he always spend time with you? Milo asked. Because I discovered my airbending powers when I was 3. Naruto said. Jinora exclaimed with shock. That's incredible. That's what caught my dad and grandma's attention. Naruto said as he remembered his father. Ever since then, my dad started spending more time with me, training me and taking me to different places. My brother and sister were envious of me because dad always had time for me and not them. I mean, I thought he did spend time with them, heck, I even thought they were with me half the time, but apparently my mind played tricks on me. That sounds really, really sad. Ikki said. Yeah, Naruto said with sad eyes. It was such a pain. Why? Didn't you like spending time with your dad? Jinora asked. I did, but he was constantly pushing me to reach such high goals. He had so much expectations from me that even though I felt so happy that he believed in me, I actually started to feel scared at failing to achieve them, scared of failing, my father being a joke. Naruto said with sad eyes, with Tenzin having the same. I felt so stressed at my father's constant attempts to make me achieve these goals, these dreams of his own. I guess in hindsight, putting all that on me, a child, it stunk. Tenzin said, finishing the sentence, making Naruto and the others turn to him. I understand where you're coming from. Tenzin said, turning to him. Naruto looked at him with surprise before reaching into his shirt and took out his necklace as he stared at it. It actually helps me hearing you say that. Naruto said as he continued to stare at his necklace. Well, no need to dwell on the past, right? Naruto said as he mustered a smirk as he looked at Tenzin. Yes. Tenzin said. Well, let's get back to training. Tenzin said. Yeah. Naruto said as he stood up. You know, I never expected I'd have anything in common with you, seeing as we're both opposites. Yes, I've noticed. Tenzin said with a small smile. Hey, if that's true then let's call the kid Cool Tenzin as his new nickname. Yumi said. Yeah, not going to happen. I mean, nothing against your name, T-Man, but I don't think either of us want to take the chance at hearing you being called boring, Naruto. Naruto said with a small smile. Agreed. Tenzin said with a nod, but then he noticed someone familiar come through the door. Korra. Where? Naruto quickly said with excitement as he turned around to see her. Korra. Korra. Jinora, Ikki and Milo said her name with joy. Suddenly Naruto dashed to her and grabbed her into a hug as he spun her around. "I'm so happy you're safe," Naruto said with joy, making Korra smile. He's sure happy to see her," Yumi said. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" Korra asked as he put her down. "Crazy story. I started seeing images of you fighting and being attacked by a dark spirit and then fainted after seeing Varrick. Then a spirit called the Nine Tails came to me and told me something happened to you, but you were fine, and he told me to come here and find Tenzin here and learn from him. I was hoping that I'd meet you here, and I guess Lady Luck was being kind to me cause here you are," Naruto said. "You were worried about me?" Korra asked as she blushed. "Why wouldn't I be?" Naruto said, making Korra smile. Naruto then started to lean in with his lips puckered, but they were stopped by Korra's finger. "What are you doing?" "I'm with Mako, remember?" Korra said with a small glare. "What? You two got back together or something?" Naruto questioned. "What do you mean got back together? We never broke up," Korra said. "What? Of course you two did, he ratted you out to the president because of his so-called police duty, you got pissed, went to the police station, yelled at him, and then kicked his desk with airbending. I saw the whole thing," Naruto said. "Wait, that all happened?" Korra asked. "Yeah. You don't remember?" Naruto questioned. Korra just stayed silent as she looked to the ground. "What happened to you? Are you alright?" Naruto asked, being worried. Korra just then pushed past him and went to the others. "It's great to see you all," Korra said. "She just dropped me," Naruto thought with shock. "What are you doing here?" Pima asked. "How do you know where to find us?" Kaya asked. "Tenzin's itinerary. We went over it like 100 times before we left Republic City," Korra said. "See, this is why schedules are important," Tenzin said to Yumi. "It's so great to see you all again," Korra said with a smile. "Everyone," Korra said, glancing at Naruto, who just looked to the side, which made her frown a bit. "You too," Tenzin said. "But why aren't you training at the South Pole?" Tenzin asked. "Wait, you don't know about the Civil War?" Korra asked as she and Naruto were surprised. "What? No. We've been out of touch with the outside world since we started our vacation," Tenzin said. "Tenzin's idea," Yumi said, pointing to his younger brother. "And you didn't tell them?" Korra exclaimed as she lightly glared at Naruto. "How was I supposed to know? I didn't even know these people until a few hours ago. You expected me to tell them something I wasn't even sure they knew about," Naruto said to Korra. "Well, you could have tried to bring it up when you first met them," Korra argued. "Oh okay, how's the sound? Hi, I'm Naruto. Did you know that Korra's uncle is a power-hungry, maniacal tyrant who started a civil war and tried to rid his brother like he did back when they were younger? Yeah, what a great way to start a conversation," Naruto said sarcastically as he looked to the side with his arms crossed. "Are you making fun of me?" Korra said as she narrowed her eyes at Naruto. "I said Korra's uncles. No need to worry," Naruto said. Well, you're an idiot," Korra retorted. "Okay, no need for the I word," Naruto said with his hands up in defense. As she turned away, Naruto crossed his arms and looked to the side and mumbled. "Women. What was that?" Korra quickly questioned as she turned to him with a glare. "Nothing," Naruto said. "Oh, you think you're better than me?" Korra questioned with a glare as she made her way to him with her finger pointed at him. "I never said that," Naruto said. "Then keep your comments to yourself," Korra said seriously. "Okay," Naruto said with some fear. "This is the first time I've ever seen a young criminal become whipped," Yumi said with a small smile. "Watch it, old man," Naruto warned Yumi with a small glare. "Anyway, what happened?" Yumi asked. "Best to tell them everything," Naruto said. "You're right," Korra said as she turned to them, and after a moment or two she started telling them everything really quickly. "I opened a spirit portal at the South Pole, then Unalaq turned out to be a bad guy and wanted to take control of the South, and so I sort of started a civil war, but when I went to find some help, I was attacked by my cousins and then by a giant dark spirit, and then I forgot who I was, and then I met the first avatar, and then I realized that I shouldn't have opened up the portal in the first place, and now we need to close it again." Everyone stood silent for a moment as they allowed everything Korra said to sink in. "I knew this would happen," Tenzin said, making Yumi and Kai look at him. "Really?" Naruto questioned with a dull look on his face. "I feel that I should know more about this situation with Unalaq," Tenzin said. Korra nodded as she was about to leave with Tenzin. Korra about before Naruto started. "I have to go with Tenzin," Korra said with a sad look as she left with Tenzin. Naruto sighed as he saw his dream girl leave. "Hey Ikki, remember that last question you asked me before about me having a girlfriend?" Naruto asked, getting the young airbender's attention along with her sister. "Better make that no," Naruto said. "I'm sorry," Jinora said as she placed her hand on Naruto's arm with sympathy. "At least you not having one won't lead to the end of the world," Ikki said, trying to cheer him up. Even though the two girls felt saddened for Naruto, they were giddy because they thought that they had a chance with him. Later on. Korra was busy talking with Tenzin, so Naruto was left with the others. Naruto was spending time with Tenzin's kids and was actually having fun. The three admired him and for some reason he actually felt some familiarity from the three of them admiring him. Naruto liked them so much that he decided to teach his new fans a few new tricks with his style of airbending that he created. Naruto led the three to a grassy part of the temple as he now faced the three and started to teach them his knowledge of his way of airbending. Wow. So you can punch really hard with wind. Milo said with excitement. Yeah. Naruto said with a smile as he then lifted up his hand, clenched it and summoned intense wind to surround it. Behold. Naruto said as he then leaped into the air and slammed his fist into the ground, creating a huge hole in it, making the three look at him in amazement. That's so cool. I wanna learn it. I wanna learn it. Ikki said with excitement as she hopped up and down. I don't understand though. You seem like the opposite of an airbender, so how come you can wield the element with such control? Jinora questioned as Naruto took his fist from out of the ground. The key to being an airbender is freedom and I do feel free, constantly really. Naruto said with a smile. Really? Yeah. To me what matters is how you see freedom as through your own eyes and soul. Like Ikki, I can sense that she can feel free at a greater extent than you and Milo. Naruto said. See that, I feel freer than you. Ikki gloated at her sister. Freer is not a real word. Jinora said with a dull look and her arms crossed. Nobody asked. Ikki retorted. Anyway, I figured on teaching you three each different techniques. Milo, I was thinking of teaching you how to use your bending to hit hard and strong, yet keeping it under control. Naruto said looking at Milo. I'm going to pass with flying colors. Milo said with a grin and mock salute. Ikki, I was going to teach you how to use the air to cut things. Sound good? Yeah. I can't wait to cut stuff. Ikki cheered with a huge smile. Spirits help us. Jinora thought. What about me? Jinora asked Naruto. I figured with a girl who's already skilled with maintaining and having complete control over her bending, I'd thought that I'd teach you how to wield the wind to your disposal. Like to take objects from out of your grasp with it, control its density and shape, create it to move fluidly like a living being, you know the works. In fact I was hoping to teach you a much more controlled albeit weaker version of my wind dragon technique. Naruto said. I'd love that. Jinora said with a smile. Great, so let's get to work. Naruto said with a smile. Later on. Taste my fury dirt. Milo shouted as he was in the air. He then surrounded his fist with intense wind as he then shot down to the ground and slammed his fist into the ground. Naruto walked next to Milo to see that his fist created a small bump into the ground. Nice job Milo. Naruto complimented with a smile as Milo moved his hand away from the dirt. With a little more practice, you'll be able to make a hole in the ground like I did. Naruto said as Milo smiled at him. Naruto then turned to see Ikki send a concentrated blade of wind at the nearest tree and once it hit, the tree earned a new scar. Naruto made his way to the tree and checked the cut mark to see it was cut into the bark. Good work Ikki. You're definitely going to be a force to reckon with if you keep this up. Naruto said making Ikki smile with a blush on her cheeks. How are you doing Jinora? Naruto asked as he made his way to her. Jinora closed her eyes and as she controlled her breathing, she started moving her arms fluidly as wind started to form into a serpent-like whip of air that danced around her. As she moved her arms, she controlled the whip of air as it moved with her. As the air then moved away and from her arm, is dissipated as Jinora calmly brought her arms down as she breathed out air from her lungs. Wow. Looks like you're doing well. Naruto said with a smile as he crossed his arms. Jinora opened her eyes as she smiled at Naruto. I gotta say, with more training I guarantee that you learn those tattoos in no time. Naruto said with a smile, making Jinora blush. Thank you Naruto. Jinora thanked the elder airbender. By the way, since it's obvious that you're a master airbender in your own right, does that mean that you're planning on getting your tattoos? Jinora asked. Oh, you should get lightning bolts. Ikki said. Lightning bolts, huh? That does sound cool, actually I kind of want that, but sadly it has nothing to do with air, but either way, I don't want to get tattoos. Naruto said. Really? Ikki asked. Well actually I do, but I don't want to shave my head, I mean I love these locks. Naruto said touching his hair. They do make you look attractive. Jinora said without thinking making her blush red as she covered her mouth. Why thank you Jinora that means a lot to me. Naruto said with a smile which made Jinora uncover her mouth which was smiling. They then heard someone clear their throat, making them to turn to see Tenzin with Korra. Oh, hey, what's up? Naruto said greeting the two. I need Milo and Ikki for a moment. Tenzin said. In a forest near the Eastern Air Temple. Tenzin and Korra were in a forest sitting in lotus position with their eyes closed as they meditated. Milo was ringing a spiritual bell while Ikki was bending air into a spiritual horn, helping the two concentrating on their meditation. The others were there as well, sitting on their knees. Well, all except for Naruto and Pima. The blonde was busy exploring the rest of the Eastern Air Temple, while Pima was busy with Rohin. "Are you in the spirit world?" Korra whispered to Tenzin as she opened her right eye to look at him. "I would be, if Milo could ring his bell at the appropriate intervals," Tenzin said, looking at his son. "Oh, did I do it wrong?" Milo asked. "Sounded good to me," Naruto said as he walked in on them. "Thanks, Naruto," Milo said with a smile. "Where have you been?" Kaya asked. "Exploring the temple a little bit more," Naruto said as he adjusted his bag over his shoulder. "Did I just hear something moving in your bag?" Kaya asked. "So how's the meditation going?" Naruto asked, changing the subject. Tenzin just stood up as he then sighed. "Let's try something else," Tenzin said as he walked away. "I thought your bell ringing was just fine," Korra said to Milo with a small smile. "Thanks," Milo said as he started smacking the bell with his stick. On a mountainside. Everyone was in the same position as before, except for Ikki and Milo, who were sitting on their knees as they sat on the carved head of an airbender with scented smoke surrounding them from those scented stick things held by those flat wooden holders. Naruto just stood to the side observing Korra and Tenzin with his arms crossed. Tenzin then suddenly coughed from the smoke. This is too much smoke. You set it up wrong. This isn't going to work," Tenzin said, looking at his sister. "I'm sorry. I did what you told me," Kaya said. "Then you shouldn't apologize," Naruto said. "Well, the moment's ruined," Tenzin said, walking away as Kaya lightly glared at him. Naruto then made his way to Jinora, tapped her shoulder making her look at him, and moved his head to Korra's direction, making her look to see their dragonfly bunny spirit friends that were circling around Korra's head as she stood up. "We could have tried a little longer," Korra said, following Tenzin. Naruto and Jinora saw the dragonfly bunnies fly away down the mountain into the valley. "Wait. Come back, furry foot," Jinora called out. "Hey Jinora, what are you chasing?" Kaya asked. "Nothing," Jinora said as she ran off, following Korra and Tenzin. Naruto just smiled as he saw the girl follow her father and Korra. "Do you know anything about this?" Kaya asked. "Let's just say she's got the gift," Naruto said, walking away. "The gift?" Kaya questioned. Inside an area of a temple. Meditating underneath a statue of a female airbender in lotus position, Tenzin and Korra were focusing on trying to enter the spirit world. "Focus, Korra. Focus." "I am focusing." "No talking. Feel the energy of the universe." "Okay. I feel it." "Korra, really? I'm trying to concentrate here," Tenzin exclaimed. "Then maybe you should shut up and stop blaming others," Naruto shouted as he entered the area. "Just admit it, Tenzin, you can't do it," Naruto said. "I don't think this location is going to work either," Tenzin said, standing up. "It's never the location, it's the state of mind. Now tell Korra the truth," Naruto argued. "What truth?" Korra questioned. Tenzin just stared at the ground, saying nothing. "Okay, how about this, we'll just try how you got into the spirit world the first time," Korra suggested, standing up. "Well, actually I've never been into the spirit world," Tenzin confessed. Korra looked shocked as well as the others as their heads appeared leaning into the area. "I knew it," Naruto said. "You've never been into the spirit world?" Korra exclaimed, still in shock. "But you used to spend days in the temple meditating," Pima said. "Trying to get in. It never happened. It's my greatest shortcoming as an airbender, spiritual leader and son of Aang," Tenzin said. Yumi then suddenly laughed at this. "Welcome to the I Disappoint Dad Club," Yumi said. "And you knew?" Korra asked Naruto. "He couldn't see the spirits flying around the temple like me and Jinora could, that's a dead giveaway," Naruto said. "Spurts? Here, and you and Jinora could see them?" Tenzin questioned with shock. "Yeah, haven't you wondered how that flying book thing Yumi mentioned worked?" "I just thought it was another one of his tall tales," Tenzin said. "Jinora," Naruto said, the young airbender's name, making her look at him. "I think it's time we speak up," Naruto said with a small smile. I think I know where to go for Korra to enter the spirit world," Jinora said with nervousness. "But how?" Tenzin asked. "My spirit friends showed me," Jinora said. "It's okay, you can show yourselves," Jinora said as she and Naruto looked up into the air as the dragonfly bunny spirits appeared, making everyone look at them in awe. "How did you do that?" Tenzin questioned breathlessly. "Jinora," Pima said, her daughter's name, with amazement. "Bunnies?" Milo said with a huge smile. "Actually they're dragonfly bunny spirits," Jinora said. "I knew it. It all made sense after Naruto said you had the gift," Kaya said. "See? Your little girl knows some things about spirits," Naruto said with a smile. The spirits then started flying away as Ikki and Milo chased after them. How long have you two been able to do this? Tenzin asked Naruto and Jinora as they exited the area. I don't know. I guess I've always had a connection with spirits. Jinora said as a dragonfly bunny spirit flew past Tenzin. Yumi then started to laugh as a dragonfly bunny spirit landed on his shoulder. I think this one likes me. Yumi said with a smile. What about you, Naruto? Korra asked. Oh, I've always been able to see them ever since I could remember. I guess I was born with this connection. Naruto said as he scratched one of the spirit's chins. You always had a connection with spirits? Tenzin asked. Yeah, but I never told anyone about this, especially my dad, and good thing too because I know that he would have went crazy over it like he did when he learned about me airbending at 3. Naruto said as one of the spirits landed on his shoulder. You could airbend at 3, where were you when I needed help in it? Korra exclaimed. Somewhere in this crazy world. Naruto said as he petted another spirit that landed on his other shoulder. And yet you were never able to enter the spirit world because you never learned to meditate. Tenzin deduced. Oh no, I could enter the spirit world, just not through meditation. It only happens sometimes whenever I'm rendered unconscious or whenever I fall asleep. Naruto said. You entered the spirit world subconsciously? Astounding. Tenzin said with amazement. It's kind of weird though. In fact, a few spirits once called me Naruto Uzumaki. That's not my last name. In fact, my family never had a last name in years. Naruto said. Why would they call you that then? Korra asked. I don't know. Whenever I asked, they just said it is the name you lived as before. I never got what that meant. Naruto said as he now scratched the first bunny spirit's ear instead of his chin. Lived as before? Wait, did they mean that this boy like Korra? Tenzin thought as his eyes widened in shock as he stared at Naruto. They dragonfly bunny spirits then flew away as they flew down the stairs. They want us to follow. Naruto said. I don't know. The spiritual energy is historically strongest near the temple. Tenzin said. No offense, but I'm guessing the spirits have actually been to the spirit world, so I'm going to follow them. Korra said. If we need to go to the Tenzin world, we'll call you. Yumi joked as the only dragonfly bunny spirit was still on his shoulder. Later. Korra, Tenzin, Naruto, Jinora, Yumi and Kaya were on Ugi, Tenzin's sky bison, as they flew in the air following the dragonfly spirits, while Pima, Ikki, Milo and Mamoru stayed back at the temple. Tenzin was annoyed that he still couldn't enter the spirit world. You're just so cute. Yumi said holding his dragonfly bunny spirit friend in his hands. I'm going to name you Bumchin. It's short for Yumi Jr. Yumi said. Don't you think he looks like me? Yumi asked as he held the spirit to his face as he turned to his younger brother. The resemblance is uncanny. Tenzin said. I think Dad's mad at me. Jinora said. No, he's not. I bet he's proud. Naruto said trying to cheer up Jinora. He's just not happy about something else. Naruto said looking at Tenzin. Naruto's right. Don't feel so sad. Kaya said. Your father's pride is just a little bruised since he can't see spirits like you. You have a natural gift. That's pretty lucky. Korra said with a smile. It's true. Naruto said. Well, you're the lucky one, Korra. You got to meet the first avatar. I know about a lot of avatars, but I don't know anything about him. Is it even a him or a her? It's a him. Avatar 1. He was amazing. I saw how he became the first avatar by fusing with Rava, the spirit of light. The avatar is part spirit. Of course, just like the statue. What statue? Kaya asked her niece. When we were at the Southern Air Temple, I was drawn to this old carving. I couldn't figure out what it was until now. It was the first avatar. When did this happen? Korra asked. It was on the solstice. Jinora answered. That was the day I opened the southern portal. Whoa. The young airbender and avatar said in unison. So how was he like? The first avatar? Jinora asked. Honestly, he was a lot like Naruto. Korra said. Say what? Naruto questioned with a raised eyebrow. Say what? Tenzin questioned looking back at them with shock. Really? Jinora said in shock. Yeah. He stole from the rich but gave to those less fortunate. He was a good-hearted man. He also stood up to stuck-up jerks and wasn't afraid to fight and use things to his advantage. He also had a connection with spirits. Korra explained. Well, how do you like that? Naruto said with a smirk as he rested his hands on the back of his head. Although I wouldn't call myself good-hearted. I'm a bad boy through and through. Naruto said boastfully with his thumb pointed towards himself. Yeah, a bad boy who gives his own money to poor families and helps save lives. Korra said with a smirk. Okay, for the record, I never saved anyone's life in Republic City. Naruto said. I meant my dad and the rebels. Korra said with a smile. Oh, that it was nothing, I guess. Naruto said looking to the side with an embarrassed blush as Korra continued to smile at him. Ugi then landed in an area with a stone structure that doubled as a waterfall. "We're here." Bumi cheered. The group jumped off of Oogie and followed the spirits. "Are you sure these spirits are leading us to the right place?" Tenzin asked his daughter whose hand he was holding. "Of course. I trust Bumjin with my life," Bumi said, scratching his pet spirit's cheek. "So what spirits have you seen in the spirit world?" Korra asked Naruto. "I'm not going to lie, you better be prepared because you will meet some who don't like humans," Naruto said. The group then entered an area where there were round stone pillars covered in moss and vines that were in a circle formation. "Look. There are carvings on them," Korra said, noticing what looked like the Airbender symbol on them. "This is an ancient Airbender meditation circle," Tenzin said. "There's a lot of spiritual energy in this place," Jinora said. "Yeah, a bit too much if you ask me," Naruto said, sensing a great amount of spiritual energy. "But it feels really strange. I'm also sensing a spiritual energy here that's really powerful and yet foreign too," Jinora said. "We'll have to perform a spiritual cleansing ceremony," Tenzin said. "What are talking about?" Bumi asked. "Dad taught it to me," Tenzin said. "Mine too. We basically just clean the place of all these vines and moss and other stuff," Naruto said. "That's correct. This place has been neglected for years. A spiritual cleansing will strengthen its connection to the spirit world," Tenzin said. "Then let's get started," Naruto said. Using an ancient spiritual smoke container, Tenzin and Naruto used their airbending to surround the area in smoke. Everyone sat in a circle in lotus position as the dragonfly spirits then flew away into the air. "Good job. You two cleansed the area of the only spirits who want to help us, and you guys scared away Bumjin," Bumi said. Tenzin ignored his brother as he concentrated. Suddenly the ground started to shake. "It's working," Tenzin said as everyone felt the small earthquake. Suddenly everyone looked in the middle as they saw a stone tablet with the Airbender symbol on it had suddenly burst to the side as dark spirit bats came out of it. Everyone looked in fear except Bumi, who cowered as the bats flew into the air. Everyone stood up as the dark spirits came at them. "Bats. Bats." Bumi screamed as everyone then ran behind the stone pillars. "Not bats. Dark spirits," Korra shouted. As the spirits turned back, Korra, Naruto and Tenzin tried to attack them with their bending, but the dark spirit bats brushed them off and flew past them and back to the center of the circle. "What are we supposed to do?" Tenzin wondered. Korra then ran to the center of the circle as she then concentrated as the bats were readying to attack. Korra then surrounded the group of bats with her waterbending. As Korra concentrated, the water shined gold as it encased the dark spirit bats as they then started to glow as well. Everyone stared at Korra's work in awe as they tried to shade their eyes from the light with their arms. "Amazing," Kaya said. "Yeah," Naruto said. "She sure is." Suddenly the spirits then dispersed into tiny fragments of light as the vines and moss started to disappear until the circle was all clear. "Your spiritual training has come a long way," Tenzin said as he walked up next to Korra. "Unalak may be a horrible person, but his spirit powers are no joke," Korra said. "He taught you how to transform dark spirits. I can't even get you into the spirit world," Tenzin said with self-pity. "Everything Unalak taught me was to help himself. Everything you've done was to help me. I am so sorry for turning my back on you as my mentor. I need you now more than ever," Korra said to Tenzin genuinely. "I won't let you down," Tenzin said, making Korra smile as the two then hugged. Naruto smiled at the two, but then he sensed something in the circle, something familiar. Naruto walked to the middle of the circle as he sensed a powerful energy getting stronger. "What the hell am I sensing here?" Naruto wondered. "Meditate." "What?" "Meditate, boy. Meditate now." "But I've tried and I sucked at it." "Do it now." Naruto turned to see Korra. "Is something wrong?" Korra asked. "Something's telling me to meditate here. I think it's that spirit that told me to find Tenzin," Naruto said. "You think you can do it?" Korra asked. "I can try," Naruto said. Naruto then sat down in lotus position as he then closed his eyes and started to concentrate. Naruto tried his best to concentrate, but it was really difficult since he wasn't a patient man. After a few moments of concentrating, Naruto was ready to call it quits, but then he sensed a presence he sensed earlier which earned his focus. As he concentrated on the energy, he felt that he was finally deep in meditation. As he breathed, he sensed the energy getting stronger and closer. "What is this power?" Naruto questioned within his mind. "It's a little piece of me." Suddenly Naruto's stomach glowed golden yellow as so did the pillars. "What in the heck is going on?" Bumi questioned. "It's a spirit," Jinora said. "The spirit," Tenzin said in shock. "Wait, so let me get this straight, this yellow light is a spirit?" Bumi asked, earning a nod from his niece. "Then does that mean the kid over there has a spirit in his stomach?" Bumi asked as he pointed to Naruto's stomach. "So does that mean that I was right?" Tenzin questioned. "Right about what?" Korra asked. Suddenly golden beams of light shot from the pillars right into Naruto, who opened his eye wide from the surge of energy. Naruto was then rose into the air by the beams of light as he felt energy go into his body. Everyone stared at Naruto with wide eyes as they saw the golden energy enter his body until it vanished, allowing Naruto to fall hard onto the ground. "Naruto!" Korra shouted as she ran to him. She then grabbed his body as she laid his head on her lap. She then checked on his condition only to feel fear. "He's not breathing." Korra shouted, scaring everyone as she then summoned water to her hand and placed it over his lungs. "Come on Naruto, breathe." Korra shouted. In the dark sewer place. Naruto opened his eyes to see that he was back in the weird sewer place again. "Damn." Naruto said as his eyes drooped a bit. "Glad to see you connected with the big furball a bit." A voice spoke as a figure stood over Naruto. "Who are you?" Naruto asked a figure as he couldn't see his face. "In time, you'll know, Gaki. In time." The figure spoke before it disappeared. Naruto then slowly sat up as he looked at the murky water. After taking a moment, he looked up to see the giant fox spirit from before. "Who was he?" Naruto asked. "Like he said, you'll see in time." The QP said. "So what was that light I was hit with?" Naruto asked. "That was a fraction of my energy that entered within you." The QP said. "Wait, you mean I'm one with you now?" Naruto asked. "You have been one with me ever since you were born, but only a fraction of my true power rested within you when you were born, and now you have a little more." QP said. "So that's why I've always had a connection with spirits." Naruto deduced. "So does this mean I got powers like Korra now?" Naruto asked. "You're smarter than that other one," Kurama said with a smirk. "Other one? What other? You know what, never mind, I'm sure I'll learn what you're talking about soon enough," Naruto said. QB just chuckled at how different this Naruto was. "Oh, well that's something," Kurama said. "What's up?" Naruto asked. "Apparently your girlfriend's other boyfriend's in trouble," Kurama said. "What? What's happening?" Naruto asked. Suddenly the area changed as Naruto was now in an apartment where he saw Mako kissing Asami. "The hell, Korra's been gone a week, you ass, and you already moved on," Naruto shouted, but apparently they couldn't hear him. "Well fuck, isn't that great?" Suddenly there was hard knocking on the door, making everyone look at it. "Police." "Oh crap," Naruto said, knowing that's not good. When Mako opened the door, he was introduced to the smug faces of Lu and Gang, who leaned against the door frame with Lin with them, who had her arms crossed as she had a serious look on her face. "Hey Mako, hope we didn't interrupt you two lovebirds," Lu said as he and Gang walked inside Mako's apartment. "What's going on?" Mako asked. "We busted some triple threats who said you hired them for a job," Lu said, making Naruto raise his eyebrow with interest as Lu and Gang searched the apartment. "Alright, it's true," Mako confessed. "Whoa, Wonder Boy, I never expected you to actually go against the law even when you work for it," Naruto said, crossing his arms as he smirked. "We were trying to figure out who stole Asami's stuff, so we hired them for a sting operation," Mako said. "Smart move," Naruto admitted. "I'm sorry for going behind your back," Mako apologized to Lin. "According to the triple threats, you did more than that. They said you helped them steal a warehouse full of Future Industries property," Chief Bifeng said. "That's crazy," Asami said. "You're going to believe a bunch of criminals," Mako said, feeling irritated. "I have to follow up on the lead," Chief Bifeng said. "Another reason why I hate the law," Naruto said as he about to sit on the couch, but he fell right through it. "The hell, am I basically a ghost or something?" Naruto questioned as he stood up from the spot. "Well, looky what I found." "Cash," Lu said as he found a bag. "And these," Lu said as he pulled out a stick of a bomb. "Wait a minute, that looks like Varrick," Naruto said as he shook his head. "What are you doing with explosives, Mako?" Lin asked. "I don't know where those came from," Mako said, but he was suddenly cuffed by Gang. "You're under arrest," Gang said. "None of that is mine." "Yeah, should have known you would have hooked up with your old pals," Gang said. "Once a triple threat, always a triple threat. Pay back off, beep," Naruto shouted as he tried to deck Gang in the face, only for his fist to go right through him. "Damn it," Naruto cursed. "This has to be a mistake," Asami said, not believing that Mako did the crime. "Sorry to break the news to you, sweetie, but your boyfriend's just a crooked cop. That sting operation was a lure to get you away from your warehouse," Lu said. "He's no better than that blonde devil kid." "Yeah, he's probably just as bad," Gang said. "Oh, when I get down to Republic City I'm going to make you two shitheads regret ever saying that," Naruto shouted with anger. "He was using you the whole time," Gang said. "It's not true, Asami. I would never do anything to hurt you. It's Varrick. This is all Varrick. He set me up," Mako said as he was taken away. "Yeah, it's Varrick's fault. Varrick," Lu said sarcastically as he chuckled. Asami wasn't sure what to believe now, the man she still held feelings for or the man who helped save her company. Naruto looked at Asami with sad eyes as he made his way to her. Asami, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I swear that I'm going to come back to Republic City and fix this. After all, you're not the only one who doesn't want to see Mako jailed. Naruto said, remembering what Korra had said earlier. I promise I'll get him out. Believe it. Naruto said as the entire place then vanished. Fox. I want out. Naruto shouted. Fine, but beware kid, just because you've been best friends with Varrick for years, that doesn't mean that he won't take you down either. QP said. Thanks. Naruto said as bright light once again consumed him. In the spiritual circle. Naruto, please wake up, please wake up. Korra repeated as she continued to try and save his life. Korra, I think it might be too late. Kaya said. Shut up. Korra shouted as she continued to try and save Naruto. Korra continued to stare at Naruto's face as she started to cry. Please don't die. Korra thought as she then hugged his body. After a few moments, Naruto opened his eyes as he saw that Korra was hugging him. Am I in heaven? Naruto asked, making Korra move back a bit as she and everyone look at him. You're alive. Korra exclaimed with joy as she continued to hug him. After a moment or two, Naruto separated from Korra as he stood up and offered her his hand that she gladly took. Something happened at Republic City. Naruto said as he helped Korra stand up. What happened? Korra asked. Mako's been arrested. Naruto said, shocking everyone. What? Why? Korra asked. He's been framed for stealing from Future Industries. Naruto said. How do you know this? Tenzin asked. The QB showed me the whole thing. Naruto said. The nine-tailed beast spirit. Jinora said with shock and amazement. Yeah, I got to go take care of this. Good luck you guys. Naruto said as he ran off. Wait. Korra called out as she ran off towards him. After being a little away from the circle, Korra grabbed Naruto's arm as she stopped him. Why do you have to leave? Like I said before, to save Wonder Boy. Naruto said. But why? I thought you didn't like him. Korra said. I don't. Naruto said. Then why are you going to save him? Korra asked, still not getting the picture. Because you love him. Naruto said, shocking Korra. I may not like him, but you care for him, and if he matters to you, he matters to me too. Naruto said with a smile. Korra looked at Naruto as her eyes shimmered with affection for him. Here. Naruto said as he then took off his necklace as he wrapped it around Korra's neck. What is this? Korra asked as she grabbed the necklace and stared at the crystal it was tied to. My grandma's necklace. She gave it to me when I was 3 and I've never took it off ever since. It's my most prized possession and I want you to have it on your journey to the spirit world. Naruto said. Why are you giving me this? Korra asked in shock that he would give her his most prized possession. Because as long as you have this. Naruto then tightened Korra's grip on his gift. It will keep me calm because it makes me feel that I'll still be by your side, you know. Naruto said as he smiled at Korra, who still looked at him in shock. I better go. Naruto said as he was about to leave. Wait. Korra said as she grabbed Naruto's arm. Korra, I have to go help Mako. Naruto said. Whoa, can't believe I actually said his name. Naruto said. About before when you said Mako and I, Korra started as she looked down to the ground. Don't worry about that. Just deal with the task at hand. Naruto said as he grabbed Korra's hand. I'm just glad you're okay. Naruto said with a smile that made Korra's heart melt before he released Korra's hand and left. Korra continued to watch as Naruto ran off towards the temple before she then saw him jump into the air and fly away. Good luck. Korra said, holding onto her necklace. Later at the Eastern Air Temple. Naruto got his bag with Mamoru inside as he was prepared to leave, but Tenzin's youngest daughter and eldest son liked him so much that they refused to let him leave. But you can't go. Ikki whined as she and Milo were holding onto Naruto's legs like their lives depended on it. Yeah, we need you. Milo whined as well. Sorry kids, I have to go back to Republic City. Mr. Personality needs help. Naruto said as he patted the two kids' heads. We really do wish that you could stay. Pima said as she walked up to the 3 airbenders as she held Rohin in her arms. Hey, don't worry, there's still more your husband can't teach me. Plus I still need to teach these 2 along with their sister some more techniques that I know they'll be begging me to share with them. Naruto said with a smile. Yay. Naruto's the best. Ikki cheered. I want to learn how to smash more things. Milo exclaimed with a grin. Pima sighed with some dread at her son's words, but she smiled as she saw the big grins on her children's faces as they jumped up and hugged Naruto as the blonde had his own big grin. As Naruto placed the 2 young airbenders down on the ground as he walked up to Pima. Hey, who knows, maybe I'll teach the little guy here some tricks when he gets older. Naruto said with a smile as he tickled Rohin's cheek, making him giggle. If that's okay with you, Pima-chan, Naruto said to the baby's mother. Oh, don't worry about me. It's Tenzin who might have something to say about that. Pima said. By the way, I've been meaning to ask you something. Naruto said to Pima. What's that? Pima asked. Well, seeing as, well, you got 4 kids, you definitely know a lot about this subject. Love, I mean, not another thing. But anyway, I was wondering if you're in love with someone who's in love with someone else, but that someone else breaks up with that someone, but retains no memory of it and still loves that someone else, and you're deciding to save that someone else when they're in trouble, only to make that someone happy, but you still love them, and it hurts to see them in love with that someone else, especially since you started a relationship with that someone right before they lost their memory. What do you do? Pima, Ikki and Milo blinked as Naruto finished his long question. He really does talk a lot like you, Ikki. Milo said to his sister, earning a glare from her. Pima then suddenly started to laugh, making the airbenders look at her with confusion. I'm sorry, it's just that Korra asked me a question sort of like that. Pima said. Really? Well, that's unexpected. Naruto said. Naruto, just talk to her and tell her how you feel. That's how it usually is, huh? Naruto said, feeling saddened. What's wrong? Pima asked. I don't know, I've been in this situation before, I know it, and I guess I'm just scared of messing things up again. Naruto said, rubbing the back of his neck. Things happen for a reason, Naruto. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. Pima said. I guess. Naruto said, looking at the ground. But to tell you the truth. Pima said. You actually willing to sacrifice your own happiness and love for someone you care so deeply, especially if it means to reunite her with someone else, shows you're definitely a young man who deserves the love and happiness you desire. Pima said with a smile. Thank you, Pima-chan, it means a lot to hear someone say that. Naruto said as he lightly hugged the woman who gave him a one-armed hug, since Rohin was still in her other arm. Once Naruto separated from her, he headed off towards his air balloon. Be safe. Pima called out. I'll try. Naruto called back as he continued down his path, leaving a smiling Pima with her children, with Ikki and Milo waving goodbye. In the spirit world. After Tenzin failed at bringing Korra into the spirit world, they all decided Jinora would help. At first Tenzin was against it since he was worried about his daughter's safety, but Jinora convinced him otherwise. After a while, Jinora managed to help get Korra into the spirit world, but unfortunately then were separated. After a few run-in with some spirits, Korra became scared of the spirit world that she reverted into a younger state back when she discovered that she was the avatar. Now, after injuring a 4-year-old dragon bird spirit, Korra traveled around with the injured bird in her arms until she met Iroh, Zuko's uncle, who helped her with her fears. After he introduced her to a 2-headed frog that married itself along with other spirits that were having a party in the 2-headed amphibian's recent nuptials. Once enjoying some time with the spirits, the dragon bird spirit pecked at the jewel shard on her necklace. No, little guy, this is my friends. Korra said to the dragon bird as she held onto her necklace. The friends? May I see it, Korra? Iroh asked. Korra took off her necklace as she gave it to Iroh. Iroh then examined the necklace as his eyes then widened in shock. I don't believe it. Iroh said. What is it? Korra asked. This is a special necklace from the world of spirits. It is valuable and priceless. Only one family of benders were blessed by the spirits to keep it. Iroh said. Naruto's family? Korra said. Yes. They earned this because of their past lives. Iroh said. Past lives? Korra questioned. This family was special and they were given it because of it and because of their spiritual connection. Iroh said as he gave it to Korra. Keep it safe, Korra. Iroh said. I will. Korra said as she stared at the crystal shard tied to it. I just wish Naruto was here. Korra said. Suddenly the crystal glowed brightly, earning everyone's attention until out from it came Naruto was sleeping on the ground. Naruto. Korra said his name with joy. Huh? Naruto said as he opened his eyes that then widened when they saw what was a younger version of Korra. What in the world? Naruto said as he sat up. Korra. What the heck happened to you? Naruto questioned. And where am I? Naruto wondered as he looked around the grassy place until he noticed the spirits. Oh, I'm in the spirit world. Naruto said. Naruto then turned to take a good look at young Korra. You had a pot belly? Naruto questioned as he chuckled, making Korra glare at him as she smacked the back of his head. Sorry, if it counts for anything, I actually think you look cute. Naruto said, making Korra blush, but she retained a pout upon her face. Hey, you're that blonde kid who's friends with the beasts. How nice of you to drop by for the celebration. A spirit wolf said. Celebration? Naruto questioned. It's Mei-jim's marriage. The spirit said. I'm guessing you two are Mei-jim. Congrats. Naruto said to the 2-headed frog. Thank you, young man. Mei said. Kind of surprising to hear this from a criminal. Jim said. Well, not all criminals are huge jerks. Naruto said, taking a piece of spirit cake. So I'm going to guess that I'm not dead, so let me ask, who summoned me? Young Korra here did with you necklace. Iroh said. All little Korra couldn't stand to be away from me. Naruto said smugly as he pinched Korra's cheek. Hey, quit it. Korra said as she swatted Naruto's hand away. I wish you were my age so I could show you what for. Korra said, but then suddenly her necklace glowed green and as Naruto was about to chomp down on some spirit cake, he was transformed into a young kid. What the hell? Naruto said as he looked at himself. He was dressed in a sleeveless dirty white shirt, forest green shorts, black shoes and bandages wrapped around his hands and forearms with a band-aid diagonally across his left cheek. You got to be kidding me. Naruto shouted. Suddenly Korra giggled making Naruto look at her. What's so funny? Naruto asked narrowing his eyes at her. Your voice, it sounds so girlish. Korra said. My voice is not girlish. Naruto shouted as he blushed red from embarrassment. How did I even become this way anyway? Naruto questioned looking at himself. The necklace. Iroh said pointing to Naruto's necklace around Korra's neck. It has much great power here in the spirit world. So much that it can bend laws of reality. Iroh explained. Wow, grandma hooked me up good. Naruto said. So what now? Naruto asked as he put his hands in his pockets. Are either of you interested in pie show? Iroh asked with a small smile. Later. Iroh was sitting at a table playing pie show with an old unbloomed flower spirit as Naruto and Korra sat at the side of the table watching the game with the baby dragon bird and Avatar Wan's teapot on the side of the table next to Korra, with Korra feeding the dragon bird a spirit cookie. They say that the game of pie show was invented by the spirits. Although some of them don't seem to grasp it very well. Iroh said holding his tea in hand. Just hold on, I'm thinking. The flower spirit said scratching its petals. As you can see, it is a game that requires great patience, but time does not mean much to us here. Iroh said. Too bad the same can't be said for us. Naruto said. Iroh grunted with a nod in agreement. How long have you lived here? Korra asked. Oh, I've been here for many years. I had always enjoyed the company of the spirits, so when my work was done in the material world, I chose to leave my body behind and come to the spirit world. Iroh explained. Fascinating. Naruto said. Korra looked at him with a raised eyebrow. What? I really am fascinated. Naruto said shrugging his shoulders. So how's it here? Naruto asked Iroh. Oh, it is a wonderful place. I've made so many friends. Iroh said as he turned and smiled to Jim who smiled at him back. Korra then looked to the side sadly. What's with you? Naruto asked with concern as he noticed the tears in her eyes. I came here with my friend, but I lost her, and now I'm all alone. Korra said with sadness. Well, you got me. Naruto said with a sympathetic smile. Yeah, but for how long? Korra said, which brought a frown to Naruto's face. You're still not alone, Korra, it's okay. Iroh said. No. It's not okay. Jinora's gone and I need to find her. Korra shouted as she stood up on the table on her knees. Wait, Jinora's here? Naruto questioned. She's lost and we need to go home. I don't like the spirit world. I don't want to be here anymore. Korra shouted as she then screamed as the sky turned dark. Naruto then looked around as he noticed that the surrounding spirits were turning into dark spirits. Oh shit. Naruto thought as he looked up at Korra. Naruto didn't like this and he was worried on what to do, but then a voice came to him. You know what to do. Naruto then thought of the first thing that came to his head. It was back when he felt scared and his mom gave him the one thing that made him feel safe. Naruto quickly got up on the table and hugged Korra making her stop. Don't cry, Korra. Naruto said as Korra looked at him. I'm here, remember? So just smile. Naruto said trying to calm her down. Korra blushed at Naruto's comforting side but then noticed the spirits around her. Did I do this? Korra asked. In the spirit world, your emotions become your reality. Especially for the Avatar because you are the bridge between the two worlds. Iroh explained. You must try to stay positive. Korra then looked at Naruto for a moment as she thought of all the things he's done for her so far. She then hugged him back which made him blush, but he continued to hug her. Korra then separated from him and bowed to the spirits in respect as she apologized to them, returning them to normal. Iroh smiled at the two, happy to see Korra happy thanks to the blonde. Then suddenly the sun in the sky shined brightly. There, you see. Iroh said. I can make the sun shine. Korra questioned. Looks like it. Naruto said. Even in the material world, you will find that if you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for dark that is all you will ever see. Iroh said. Naruto then felt his head hurt as he saw flashes of a teenager with raven hair that looked to be in the style of a duck's butt as his eyes were sometimes onyx and sometimes red with 3 black tomos around the pupil. Sasuke. Naruto said holding his head. Do? Korra questioned turning to Naruto. I see that you are also seeing your visions of the past. Iroh said. What? Naruto questioned. Never mind, Korra, if you can make the sky shine then try bringing Jinora here. Good idea. I'm looking for my friend, I want her here now. Korra said as she closed her eyes and concentrated. When she opened them, her and Naruto looked around to see she was nowhere. Why didn't she come out like the sun? Korra asked. I'm guessing it has something to do with her being human. Naruto guessed. In a way. It won't be easy finding her. Iroh said. What am I supposed to do? Korra asked. The best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else. Iroh said as he looked at the dragon bird. This little fellow needs to go home as well. Maybe if you help him find his friends, he will be able to find yours. Iroh said as the bird jumped onto his hand as he then gave him to Korra. I'll take him home. Korra said. I'll help. Naruto said. I'm afraid your assistance is needed elsewhere. Iroh said as he pointed to Naruto's hand as it started to fade. Oh crap. Naruto said. What's going on? Korra asked. I guess I have to leave. Naruto said. But I don't want you to. Korra said. I don't want to leave either, but someone's got to save Mr. Tall, Dark and Brooding. Naruto said. Korra's eyes then started to tear up, but Naruto then wiped them away. Don't be sad, we'll see each other real soon. I promise. Naruto said with a smile. Korra sniffed a bit as she wiped away a tear from her eye. You better keep it. Korra said as she mustered up a serious look on her face. Trust me, I never break one. Believe it. Naruto exclaimed with a grin as he thrust his fist forward. Korra couldn't help but giggle at Naruto's antics. I'll see you on the other side. Naruto said as more of his body started to fade away, but then Korra hugged him one last time which he gladly returned. And before I go. Naruto said as he separated from Korra and then made a move on the pie show board, earning the flower spirit a point. Ha! Look at that. The spirit said with a big grin. No fair, you had outside help. Iroh said as Korra giggled. All's fair in love and pie show. Naruto said as he laughed before fading away. Korra smiled at the spot he was in before she wiped away new tears. So where do I go? Korra asked Iroh. With Naruto in the material world. Naruto woke up as he sat up from the basket. He looked at himself to see that he was a young adult again before looking up to see Mamoru working the balloon. How a fox can do that no one will ever know. Naruto stood up as he looked down at the sea and thought of something or more like someone. Sasuke. In Republic City. After landing, Naruto, with Mamoru inside his duffel bag, walked around the city trying to find the jailhouse. Naruto looked around to see people with pouches of money and, well, he couldn't resist. Naruto expertly stole some pouches on his way to who are we kidding, old habits die hard. After collecting some money, Naruto went into an alley as he then counted his steal. Wow, that was one heck of a haul. Naruto said with a smirk. No kidding. Naruto looked up to see 3 triad members walking his way. Sorry to bug you, but do you think you can spare some of that dough? The middle triad member asked. Sorry, but I got a rule to only give to those who really can't earn cash for themselves so easily. Naruto said putting the money in his duffel bag. Okay then, I guess we'll have to convince you otherwise. The middle one who seemed to be the leader said as they got in their bending stances. Naruto just chuckled as he placed the bag to side and cracked his knuckles. One of them then tried sending a blast of fire to Naruto, but he dashed forward and grabbed his wrist as he then kicked one into the wall and then threw the one that was in his grasp into the leader. Naruto then slammed his foot against the one against the wall's head, knocking him out before he jumped up and stomped on the body of the one he threw before stomping on his head. As the leader stood up, Naruto roundhouse kicked him across the face and then slammed him against the wall as Naruto grabbed his arm and twisted it behind his back. Okay idiot, where are the remaining triads who worked with Mako in his little sting operation? Naruto demanded answers. How should I know? The triad said. Naruto just twisted his arm harder making him grunt in pain. Okay, I might know, but I won't be telling you. Is that so? Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. The triad said. I could break your arm. Naruto bluntly said. I'd like to see you try. The triad said. Naruto moved the arm a bit as he beat his fist back and gathered wind around it as he then thrust his, punching the arm making it bend backwards, which led to the triad screaming in pain. And now for the other. Naruto said grabbing the other arm and twisting it. Wait. Maybe I could tell ya. The triad said with fear. Maybe isn't good enough. Naruto said post-ioning the arm as he beeped his fist back. Okay, I'll tell ya. The triad shouted with fear. That's better. Naruto said with a smirk. Later at the Triple Threat Triad's hideout. Well, the bright side is Mako's in jail, but what now? Shady Sin asked his boss Viper. We lay low for a while and enjoy the money. Viper said with a smirk as he waved a handful of yuans in the air. Knock, knock. They heard when suddenly the door was kicked in and then was slammed against the wall across from the entrance. Everyone turned to see the blonde devil himself, Naruto. You guys owe a couple of people the truth. Naruto said. Oh yeah? I'd like to see you try. Viper said. Is that really the Triad's favorite thing to say? Naruto said with a smirk as he cracked his knuckles. Later, at the roof of the hideout. Let me down from here. Viper shouted as he was floating in the air. Whatever you say. Naruto said as he released his control of the air surrounding Viper, allowing him to fall. Wait. I didn't mean it. Save me. Save me. Viper shouted. Naruto then brought up his hand as he controlled the air around Viper, making him float in the air once more. Geez, you guys are so demanding sometimes. Naruto said with a bored expression. What do you want? Money? Viper asked. I want you to tell the chief the truth about you lying about Mako being the one behind the future industry's theft. Naruto said. And why should I? Viper questioned with a sneer. Naruto then raised his hand up high as Viper flew into the air, and then Naruto released his control of Viper's airspace once more, allowing him to fall from great heights. Okay. I'll talk. Viper cried as he was nearing the floor, but then Naruto stopped his fall with his bending, as he then brought Viper closer to him. Are you honest? Naruto asked. Honestly, truthfully, yes. Viper said with fear written across his face. Good. Naruto said as he placed Viper near the edge of the building. Naruto then turned as it seemed that he was about to walk away, but then he quickly turned around and went boo. To Viper's face, making him scream as he then fell off the building and into a dumpster in the alley below. Naruto laughed at this as he walked away. Man, that dude flew like air. Naruto said with a grin. As Naruto went back inside the hideout where the rest of the Triad members were tied up, he collected all the money they had before using their phone to call the police and tell them about a ruckus that had just happened. After sending in the report, Naruto walked out of the hideout and left to the big house, which the Triad from earlier was so kind enough to tell him its location. Later at Republic City Prison. Inside a cell, Mako was being held while two guards were guarding his cell. As the two were doing their job, Naruto came walking and alarming the guards. The blonde devil. What are you doing here? One guard demanded answers. To see Mr. Personality. Naruto said as he stopped in front of them. I don't think a criminal is allowed to see another criminal. The guard said. Hardened criminal. Just let me speak with him for 5 minutes. Naruto said. The guards looked at each other for confirmation as one then shrugged his shoulders, basically saying what harm could it do. Okay, fine, you got 5 minutes. The guard said. The guard then opened the door to Mako's cell. You got a visitor. The guard said to Mako as Naruto walked inside the cell as the door then closed behind him. Naruto. Mako said the blonde's name in shock. Sup Mr. Personality. Naruto greeted the firebender as he walked up in front of him with his hands in his pocket. Go ahead, I know you want to say it. Mako said. Well, if you insist. Super cop behind bars, huh? What? Is arresting criminals while looking like an emo considered a crime now? Naruto said with a smirk. Really? You couldn't have just decided to let a chance to insult me go, Mako said with annoyance. You betrayed Korra. I'm still pissed at that. Naruto said as he glared at Mako. Mako looked to the side with shameful eyes as he felt guilt within the cavity of his chest. What are you even doing here? Mako asked. The spirit informed me that a stickler for the rules cop was behind bars for something he obviously didn't do. Naruto said. So spirit told you about me getting jailed? Mako questioned with a raised eyebrow. Well, it was more like showed. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulder. Listen, I don't belong here, I was set up by Varrick. Naruto finished for him. You know? Mako asked in shock. I saw the whole scene from when you made out with Asami to seeing you get taken away by Mustachio Duo. Naruto said, shocking Mako. You move on from an ex quick. Naruto said with a dangerous smirk. So you saw the whole thing and you believed me when I said it was Varrick? No, I knew it was Varrick the moment the fat one with the reject afro pulled out that bomb stick. Varrick showed me them before back when they were a prototype. Then it all clicked. The incident at the cultural center, Varrick took advantage of the peace march and planned the bombing to be the spark so he could get Raiko on his side along with Korra. Then he tried to get on Asami's good side so he could go behind her back and bring about her downfall, just so he could swoop in and save her company to get more profit as a shareholder. And of course he had to bring you down for both the reason that he needed a patsy and you were getting too close to the case and busting him. Naruto explained. You figure all that out? Mako said in shock. Varrick did kind of raise this mind to be intelligent when it comes to crap like this. Naruto said, tapping his temple with a smirk on his face. Then you can help clear my name. Mako said, standing up from his bench. All you need to do is tell Chief Bifong. Mako, she didn't believe you, a beat cop, you really think she'll listen to a criminal? Naruto said, bring Mako's hopes down to zero as he sat back down onto the bench. Now what? Mako said hopelessly. Easy. Varrick doesn't see me as a threat, so I'll play double agent and get Bolin to help. Naruto said. That sounds good, but Bolin, or should I say Naruto, is too into his fame to even listen. Mako said. Don't worry, I can be very persuasive. Naruto said with a smirk, but then he noticed the glare Mako was giving him. Especially when it comes to my words. Just my words. Naruto said. Mako stared at him for a moment before he sighed. Alright. I guess you're my best bet. Mako said. Tonight at the Airbending Arena is the premiere of the finale of Naruto. Everyone will be there. Everyone, huh? Naruto said as he thought more deeply about what might go down until he thought more on the word everyone. Varrick, you genius. Naruto said with an impressed smirk as he rubbed his chin. What? Did you find out something? Mako asked. It's a hunch, but I think I know what's Varrick's plan for tonight. Naruto said. I'm going to go talk to Varrick and convince him to give me a ticket to the premiere. You just who am I kidding, you got no choice but to stay here. Naruto said as he headed for the door. Wait. Mako said as Naruto stopped. Why are you helping me? I thought you hated me. I don't hate you, but I am still mad at you for hurting Korra. Naruto said. Then why are you helping me? Mako asked, still not getting the picture. Naruto just stayed silent for a moment before speaking. Days ago Korra was attacked by a dark spirit and for a while she lost her memory. She got it back, but apparently she doesn't remember the two of you breaking up. Naruto said, shocking Mako. So you want to free me so I can tell her? Mako questioned. No, it's because she still loves you. You're precious to her and as long as you're important to her you're important to me too. Mako looked at Naruto in shock. He always thought he just wanted Korra for her looks or just because she was the avatar, but apparently from what he could tell from what he heard just now, he actually started to believe that Naruto was actually in love with Korra. After speaking those words, Naruto opened the door of Mako's cell and left, leaving the guards to close the door. Mako just continued to sit on his bench as he stared down at the floor. I guess you're my best chance now, Naruto. At Varrick's yacht. Julie, what do you think of this suit? Too flashy. Varrick asked his assistant as he viewed his suit in the mirror. I think it looks good. Geez, Julie, what happened to your voice? It sounds more mannish. That wasn't me, sir. Julie said. It was me. Varrick and Julie turned around to see Naruto standing a little away from them. Naruto, my boy. You're back. Varrick said with a huge smile as he went to shake the boy's hand. How did things go? Fine. I heard about tonight's big event. Naruto said, shaking Varrick's hand with a smile on his face. Good. And speaking of that event, Julie then gave Varrick a ticket to the premiere that Varrick gave to Naruto. I was hoping you'd come in time to catch it. Varrick said. Why not, I got nothing better to do. Naruto said. Oh, and I also got one for your fox too. Varrick said, giving Naruto a special ticket that allowed animals into the premiere. Varrick, you mad genius. Naruto said with a smile as Mamoru's head popped out of the bag as he grabbed the ticket with his mouth before diving back into the bag. Oh, and I know you don't like to hear this, but everyone has to dress. Don't say it. Naruto said, narrowing his eyes as Varrick stared at him with wary eyes. Formal. Damn it. It's just one night. Varrick said as he gave Naruto some money. Remember to dress excellent, brush those teeth hard enough so they can blind someone as they shine, and if you could try, do you think you can make that hair less spiky? Varrick said as Naruto continued to stare at him with narrow eyes. I'll see what I can do. Naruto said as he turned and left. I'm surprised he didn't sink my ship like he almost did the last time I said the F word. Varrick said, feeling relieved. Later at the premiere. Everyone was gathered at the Airbending Stadium, ready to see the final episode of the adventures of Naruto, hero of the South. Naruto and Mamoru made it in time to see Republic City's #1 power couple, Bolin and Ginger. Couple my ass. Naruto said as he continued to walk ahead when he saw the mustachio duo themselves, Lu and Gang, stuffing their faces with Varrick cakes. Quit stuffing your mustaches with Varrick cakes and get to your posts. Lin ordered as she scolded at the two, making them stand up straight in attention. You got it, boss. Lu said as he and Gang went to finally do their job for once. You two are the pinnacle of refinement. Lin said sarcastically with her arms crossed. They just make little kids want to grow up and be like them, huh? A voice spoke, making Lin turn around to see who she thought was Naruto. Blonde devil? Lin questioned in shock. Please Ms. Beefrong, call me Naruto. Naruto said with a smirk. What are you wearing? Lin questioned in shock. I think we both know what I am wearing. Naruto said, gesturing to his attire. Naruto wore a red dress shirt that was unbuttoned a bit to show off some of his chest, black dress pants, black shoes, and a black blazer, and he had his hair brushed down. Dear God. Lin said. I know. Naruto said as his head now hung in humiliation and shame. And what in the world is your fox wearing? Lin asked as she pointed down to Mamoru who rose his head up high like he was of high society. Mamoru was dressed with a bow tie and a detachable shirt collar wrapped around his neck and detachable shirt cuffs wrapped around his front ankles. Apparently this city also sells formal wear for animals too, Naruto said. So what are you two doing here? Lin asked. Varrick invited us. Naruto said showing the chief his and Mamoru's tickets. There are tickets for animals too? Lin questioned with mild surprise. Leave it to Varrick to think outside the box. Naruto said as he put away his and Mamoru's tickets. Anyway, we'll be seeing ya later, Naruto said as he and Mamoru left. The two noticed that Varrick was with President Raiko and his wife Buttercup Raiko. Guess the show's about to start, Naruto said. Later, inside the arena. Naruto made his way to a VIP section where he opened the door to meet Bolin, Asami and Ginger. Hey Naruto, you're back, Bolin said with joy. I can see that, Naruto said with a smirk as he sat next to Asami with Mamoru jumping onto his lap. You look good, Asami complimented. Which one, me or the fox? Naruto joked making Asami giggle and Bolin laugh. Ginger just stayed silent and ignored the others. Suddenly the place went dark as the spotlight was now on Varrick who was standing in the middle of the arena. Thank you all for coming to the finale of Naruto, Hero of the South, Varrick announced with his microphone. You know when I first started this project there were a lot of naysayers out there. You can't make pictures move they said, you can't take some knucklehead earthbender and make him a star they said. That last one made Bolin pout a bit. You can't teach a polar bear dog to speak they said. Well, they're wrong. Thanks to the magic of the movers our furry friends have found their voices and you'll be shocked to hear what they have to say. Varrick then put on a serious demeanor as he continued. They speak of the injustice happening in the Southern Water Tribe right now. My hope is that their words and this epic mover will inspire a real-life hero to rise up and help. Varrick said as he stared at President Raiko who looked away feeling a little guilty. Thank you again. Enjoy the show, Varrick said as the film started with everybody clapping. Naruto stared at Varrick when a thought finally occurred to him. In order to save Mako, he'd have to betray one of his greatest friends. Now Naruto felt a huge weight land upon him. He now had to make a choice, either save Mako, a guy he didn't really like, which would probably lead to him never being with Korra like he desired or leave Varrick be, let him go through with his plan, and let Mako rot away, which would leave Korra greatly saddened. It was either the happiness of the girl that he loves or the freedom of the man who partially raised him in his youth. Won't this be a pain? But not as much of a pain as the start off of the movie he was watching. People find this entertaining, Naruto thought as he saw Naruto seek wisdom from a seal lion that was supposed to be a wise sage. God help these people's brains. I think this is your best movie yet, Asami said to Bolin. Seriously, this is the best, Naruto thought with genuine shock. I just wish Mako was here to see it, Bolin said. Don't worry Bolin, I'm sure when he gets out he'll see the repeat in theaters, Naruto said trying his best to comfort his friend. Meanwhile with Lu and gang. The two pains in the asses, I mean well-respected detectives, were busy doing their job while everyone was watching the movie. Aang licked the top of a Varrick cake enjoying its taste. I like to eat the top of the Varrick cake first, Gang said to partner. I just try to shove the whole thing in my mouth at once, Lu said as he shoved his Varrick cake into his mouth and ate it whole. Gang then chuckled. I love our job, Gang said with a smug smile that matched his partner, but then they noticed northern soldiers at the window behind them as they were then hit with some waterbending, knocking them unconscious as the northerners then dragged and stuffed their bodies into a locker. I know we could all see this episode on an internet site like Watch Cartoons to see what happened to Lu and Gang, but let's admit it, this was one of our favorite, maybe our most favorite scene from season 2, to see these pain in the ass lackers get what they deserve. Hahaha. Back with Naruto and the others. Is it almost over? Naruto wondered as he continued to watch this whatever the hell you want to call it. I personally have nothing against Naruto or his adventures. Northern Water Tribe automatons. No. A chained Naruto cried with worry. Beep, boop, bop. Naruto cannot stop unlack. Must destroy Naruto. One of the automatons said. Naruto's polar bear dog, Rotan, Naga, that looked an awful lot like a panda, growled and scared off the automatons as Naruto's fire ferret friend, Juji, Pabu, then used his eye beams to destroy the chains that bounded Naruto. Naruto blinked at this as his jaw was slacked. What the hell did I just see just now? Naruto thought as Naruto and his furry friends dodged an automaton's claw. Naruto then destroyed with his waterbending. Looks like you forgot that water and automatons don't mix, Naruto said with a triumphant smirk. Beep, bop, boop. Oh no, circuit's not working, the automaton said as they then shorted out. Woohoo. We did it. Naruto cheered as he high-fived his polar bear dog friend. Did he just high-five Naga? Naruto questioned in his thoughts. But wait, where's Juji? Naruto wondered as he looked around only to see Juji on his back against the floor as he coughed. No. Rotan cried. What the hell? What kind of a voice is that? And for a female polar bear dog? Naruto thought as he tried to contain his laughter. Naruto then ran to Juji's side as he picked him up in his arms. You can't die, Juji. Not on my watch. Naruto cried. Juji then coughed as he then looked up at Naruto. It's okay, Naruto coughed. At least, I got to be your friend. Juji said as before he then died. Oh boy, this story is really reaching for plot now. Naruto thought. Rotan then covered his eyes with his paws as he cried over the loss of one of his best friends. Juji. Naruto cried as he held his now dead friend's corpse in his arms. Asami looked a bit saddened by what she was watching, but then she noticed Naruto's head turned away as his shoulders twitched a bit. Are you crying? Asami asked. No, I just have something in my eye. Naruto said. In truth, Naruto was trying his best to hold in his laughter as a giant grin was plastered onto his face. The two young adults then noticed Bolin standing up and leaving. Later, outside. Bolin was leaning over the rail as he stood at the place where he saw Korra and Mako kiss. Naruto and Asami walked towards him to see if he was okay. Hey Bolin, be honest, is Naruto an action-adventure story or one of comedy? Naruto asked, earning himself a slap on the arm from Asami. What? I'm genuinely curious. Naruto said. Either way, are you okay? Naruto asked. It seems like this mover is really getting to you. Asami said as she stood next to Bolin leaning against the railing as well. You do know Juji's not dead. Course I know. Juji's fine. He comes back to life in the end when the doomsday device shifts the polarity of the earth. Bolin explained. Straight out of Superman. Good, now I know what happens in the end. Naruto said with a smile. Oops, sorry about the spoiler. Bolin said. I'm actually really glad he told us so I don't have to go back and deal with that movie. Naruto thought. Then what's wrong? Asami asked. I guess I just miss my friends. Bolin said, earning the other two's attention. Everything's going so well for me, but it just feels so empty without everyone around. Bolin said. Korra's gone, Mako's in jail, you're doing business lady stuff. Team Avatar's falling apart. Bolin said, looking off in the distance. I know. Things have changed so much since we first met. Asami said, looking off in the distance as well. Why don't you come back and finish watching the movie with us? You go ahead, I need another minute. Bolin said. Asami understood as she walked away. She then turned to Naruto, who was leaning his back against the railing with his elbows against the railing as he had a calm blank look on his face. Asami gestured for him to go on ahead of her, but he just shook his head no, giving her his answer as she then walked away. Bolin stared off into the distance thinking about the good old day. I'm proud of you, Bolin. Naruto said, making Bolin look at Naruto with surprise. It takes a real man who's true to those he considers precious to admit what you're saying. And it makes you an even greater man that you didn't forget those that you love even after all this fame crap. You really think so? Bolin asked, looking straight ahead once more. I know so, and I know your brother would feel the same way. Naruto said. Thanks Naruto, you're a good friend. Bolin said, but then he noticed a boat parked in the water. That's weird. What? Naruto asked as he then followed Bolin's line of sight to see the boat. So it's already happening. Naruto said. Bolin questioned with a raised eyebrow. Later inside. So you know who's behind all this? Bolin asked in shock. Naruto said as they entered a corridor. Who is it? I'll leave that a secret. Naruto said. Bolin was about to protest on Naruto keeping it a secret, but then he almost slipped on one of Varrick's very cakes. What a mess. Naruto said. Suddenly they heard a knock at one of the lockers. Bolin went to open it to see Lu and gang tied up inside. And me without my camera. Naruto said with a smirk as Bolin moved the rope tied around Lu's mouth. They're after the president. Lu shouted, making Bolin gasp. Thanks for the tip. Naruto said as he closed the locker on them as he then started to leave. Naruto. Bolin said his friend's name. What? Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. A little later with President Raiko and First Lady Buttercup Raiko. After watching more of the movie, President Raiko and his wife were enjoying it until they were grabbed from behind and tied up. As the Northerners, with the tied-up president and first lady, were about to leave, the door went flying with Bolin in his earthbending position with his fist out and Naruto by his side in his own fighting position. I don't think so. Bolin said heroically. Naruto then used his airbending to hit the Northerners away from the president and first lady. One of them sent a shot of water at them, but the two dodged and Bolin then sent a rock from the wall into at the Northerner who attacked them, sending him out of the balcony and into the water below the arena. Everyone then noticed what had happened, which alarmed them. Chief. A metal bending officer came to Lin. You know those triads we busted? Well, apparently their leader admitted that they lied about Mako because of an order to an anonymous client. What? Lin shouted with anger. Everyone then noticed 3 northerners sent into the arena. Did I miss something? The officer asked. In the balcony, after untying the president and first lady and making sure they were safe, Naruto then turned to Bolin and said. You deal with these northerners and I'll go deal with the person behind this. Naruto said. Once Bolin nodded, the earthbender then ran towards the edge of the balcony and jumped into the arena to face the northerners. The cops will come, just stay here and use the chairs as weapons if you need to. Naruto said before he ran out the door. As Naruto ran towards Varrick's room, he then thought of all the nice things Varrick have done for him. Hell, he even bailed him out of jail. And as the more Naruto thought about what Varrick did for him, the less sure he was of what he was doing. Once he made it to the door, he stopped and stared at it. He reached for the knob, but his hand was shaking, and as it was a centimeter away, he stopped. Having cold feet. I don't know what to do. Naruto said. Think about what you want, kid. That's all I'm going to say. QB said before he remained silent observing Naruto's actions. Naruto continued to stare at the door as he was now alone with his own thoughts. In the arena, Bolin finished off the 3 northerners with the earth discs that were stocked in the arena. Bolin then aimed an earth disc at the only conscious one as he demanded answers. Tell me who sent you. It was Varrick. Please, don't hurt me, Nuktik. The northerner begged. Bolin was shocked as he then turned to Varrick's balcony, with the businessman having an uneasy look on his face. I think this is our cue to exit. Varrick said to Zhu Li, but as the two turned towards the door, they saw Naruto there closing the door behind him as he had a serious demeanor on his face. Naruto. Good to see you. I'm gonna need some help getting out of here. Varrick said heading for the exit, but suddenly Naruto sent a shot of wind in front of Varrick, shocking him and Zhu Li. Naruto, what the heck do you think you're doing? You're not leaving, Varrick. It's the end of the line. Naruto said, still not losing his serious demeanor. End of the line, that's policeman talk. Why are you doing this? Because of Mako. Him? Why do you care? Varrick questioned. Naruto looked to the side with sad eyes. Varrick noticed, which made him realize the problem. I thought that. She lost her memory and still thinks she's with him. Naruto said. Say no more. Varrick said. Varrick then dusted off his coat and then sat down in his seat as he waited for the police to come, shocking Naruto and Zhu Li. As the 3 stayed in their positions in silence until the police came through the door. Varrick, you're under arrest. Chief Bifrong said. I know. I couldn't leave anyway since my old friend here won't allow me to leave. Varrick said, gesturing towards Naruto, which surprised Lin. Lin looked at Naruto, who had a serious yet blank look on his face, a face she had seen before, and it didn't mean the person who wore it was feeling positive at all. Once the police put the cuffs on Varrick, they started taking him away, but as they made it to Naruto's side, Varrick stopped in place, making the police look at him, and as they were about to force him to move, he spoke. I don't blame you, kid. I'm not going to say it's easy to find, heck, a kook like me can't trick himself into one, but I can tell this is special. That special one. I'm kind of jealous really that you found it already, and yet I'm proud, and when I say I'm proud I expect people I say it to do the thing. You found it quicker than me, kid, and such a young age too. Good luck on doing the thing. And with those final words, Varrick allowed the police and the chief to take him away with Zhu Li following. Alone in the room, Naruto's lip quivered as a lone tear slid down his cheek. Mamoru watched from the doorway as he saw his best friend's shoulders tremble. Mamoru made his way to Naruto's side and rubbed up against his leg. Naruto looked down at his friend before kneeling down and petting his head. Good fox. Later. Naruto and Mamoru walked down the steps of the stadium as they saw the flashing lights of cameras pinpointed on Bolin. Better than us, right? Naruto said to his foxy companion with a sad smirk that Mamoru responded with his own. The two then saw Ginger run up to Bolin and kiss him, making the two raise an eyebrow. I can't believe my boyfriend is a real-life hero. Ginger said to a blushing Bolin, bringing him out of his daze. Boyfriend? Bolin questioned with a raised eyebrow. Wait, stop, I thought you said we weren't a couple. Bolin said. You really are as dumb as those rocks. Of course we're a couple. Ginger said as she planted another one on Bolin. Bolin felt like he was in heaven, but then he noticed Naruto looking at him with a dull expression, with the blonde shaking his head in a disapproving way. After seeing that, Bolin started using his common sense and pushed Ginger away. No, Ginger, I'm afraid we're not. Bolin said, making everybody gasp, except for Naruto, Mamoru and Asami, who smirked at his response. I wish you good day, madam. Bolin said gentlemanlike with a bow before he headed towards Naruto. Once he stopped in front of the blonde, the two gave each other a high five. Good to see you choosing the side behind the lights, Bolin. Naruto said. Nah, I think they're still on me, but shouldn't you be in the spotlight too? You know, since well, you helped the police force capture Varrick. Bolin said, feeling uncomfortable to mention the last part. Nah. Naruto said as he looked towards the flashing lights of the camera, but then he looked down towards Mamoru, then Bolin and Asami. After all this, I'd rather be an unsung hero. Naruto said with a smile. You're officially the coolest guy I know. Bolin said with him and Asami smiling. Naruto blushed at this praise as he then looked the other way with a whatever expression on his face. Don't get my words twisted, I'm still the infamous blonde devil. Being known for what I did would just wound my reputation. Naruto said, acting cool. Oh, we get the picture, tough guy. Asami said with a smirk, with Bolin still smiling. Let's go get Mako. Asami said. Oh, will Wonder Boy get a kick out of this? A young criminal helping with getting his butt out of jail. The face he'll make might be one that I'll have to take a picture of. Naruto said with a smirk. Suddenly the two heard the roar of a sky bison, making them look up to see one flying in the air and then landing in front of the stadium, allowing Korra to jump off of it. Korra. Naruto said the avatar's name with a smile as he and the others made his way to her. President Raiko. Korra said, rushing her way to the president. Avatar Korra, what's wrong? President Raiko asked. Sir, I know I've asked for your help before, but things have changed. Korra said. Changed? Naruto thought as he and the others stopped a little near her. Unalaq doesn't just want to take over the south anymore. He wants to destroy the whole world. Korra said, shocking everyone. Unalaq is going to destroy the whole world, Bolin exclaimed with new worry. He really does have a doomsday device, Bolin questioned. He's trying to release a powerful dark spirit during harmonic convergence, which is only a few days away. Korra said. That snake. Naruto thought with anger as he gritted his teeth. If he succeeds, the world as we know it is over. Korra said. Suddenly Naruto then saw flashes of a man with black spiky hair and half of his face crushed, and a man with long spiky hair with a bang, covering one of his eyes, which were purple with a ripple pattern around the pupil. Once they were gone, he grabbed his head as he glared at the floor below. What's with these flashes? What's going on in my head? Naruto questioned within his mind. Sir, we desperately need your help. Korra pleaded with President Raiko. After a moment of silence he spoke. I'm sorry Korra, but my answer is still no. Raiko said, shocking everyone and ticking off Naruto and Tenzin. What? Naruto shouted with anger. There are lives on the line. And my daughter is one of them. Raiko, you must reconsider. Tenzin shouted with anger. Jinora. Naruto thought with new worry and concern as everyone glared at Raiko. I'm aware that lives are on the line, and that's precisely why my troops are staying here. Raiko said. Naruto glared at Raiko as he gritted his teeth. If the world is going to be thrown into chaos like you claim, I need to protect my citizens. Raiko said. That's not going to matter when a giant spirit that no mortal can touch or harm physically comes in and bombards the place. Naruto shouted with a glare. He does have a point. Yumi said, shrugging his shoulders. I'm sorry, but my answer is still no. Raiko said. Sir, Nuktik needs your help. Bolin said, placing his hand on Raiko's shoulder. I know you love helping people. Son, I appreciate you saving my life and I'm a big fan of your work, but my decision is final. Raiko said. Then so is the resolution of my next action. Naruto thought as he then punched the president across the face, knocking him out and shocking everybody. Naruto. Asami shouted his name in shock. What? Someone needed to do it. Naruto said with a shrug. This lovely violent scene was brought to you by the idea of ENGINEER forever from his hit crossover story, The Tides Change Once More. All credit for the idea of decking President Raiko goes to him. Hope you don't mind, engineer. I love your story. I don't care if I get unpardoned for this, lives are at stake, and when it comes to crap like this, I guarantee people will die, and I'm not going to let that happen. Naruto shouted with great seriousness. None of us are. Korra said with a smile and daring eyes. Come on, let's go free Wonder Boy. Naruto said as he started heading out. By the way, I like the look. Korra said with a smile. Get used to it because this is the last time you'll ever see fancy Naruto. Naruto said, messing his hair up back to its normal spiky self. Later at Mako's prison cell. Mako was sitting on his bench thinking about his chances of freedom. He thought he was doomed seeing as he didn't have much faith in Naruto. Suddenly his cell door opened to reveal Naruto and Bolin. For he's a jolly decent fellow, for he's a jolly decent fellow, for he's a jolly decent fellow. Today's the day he's free. Naruto sang, making Mako's eyes widen. You mean? Yup. Naruto and I proved you were innocent the whole time. Bolin said with a grin. Mako smiled, rushed to his brother and hugged him and then separated from him and grabbed Naruto's shoulders. I should have never doubted you. Mako exclaimed with a grin. Hey, you're for the law, I'm not, can't really blame ya. Naruto said with a smirk and shrug. The three then headed out the door and started walking down the hall. Now let's hurry before these dopes hear that I decked the president. Naruto whispered, shocking Mako. You deck the Mako, it's our little secret until the old fart wakes up, Naruto said as they continued down the hall. Sorry for ever doubting you, Mako, Bolin said with regret. Don't worry about it, bro, Mako said as he and Bolin hugged again and separated. Now, I'd like to hear the whole story of what happened leading up to the president getting punched, Mako said. Speak a little louder, I don't think the guards heard you, Naruto said. After collecting Mako's coat and red scarf, the three walked out with everyone there clapping for Mako's freedom. The three made their way to them with smiles on their faces. Nice job, Mako, you're going to make a great detective, Lin said with a smile. From beat cop to detective. Nice jump, Naruto said to Mako with a smirk, with the firebender giving one back. But chief, there aren't any detective opening right now, Lu said. Actually, we have 2 openings, Lin said, looking at the 2 mustached slackers, shocking them, making Naruto laugh and Mako smirk. Speaking of the second position, Naruto, despite of your past actions, you really did help, especially shaking down those triads to tell us the truth about that false lead they gave us, Lin said with a smirk. Damn, I didn't want them to sing that much, Naruto thought, glaring at the side while everyone looked at him with shock, especially Mako. So I wanted to ask if you'd like to join the force and become a detective, Lin said, shocking everyone greatly. Gang exclaimed with shock. But he's a criminal, Lu exclaimed. And yet he did more help for us than you 2 slackers, Lin said, making the 2 slump with shame. What was that thing I heard as an intangible spirit? I'm no better than Mako, was it? Naruto said, shocking Asami, Lin, Lu and Gang. Guess no better means worthy of such a high role, Naruto said nonchalantly. How'd you hear us? Gang questioned as he and Lu shook with new fear of the teen. Oh, that's easy, Naruto said with a grin as he then suddenly appeared in front of the 2 with a blank expression. I'm everywhere, he said in a husky voice, making Lu and Gang jump out of their skin as they cowered in fear, making Naruto laugh his butt off. Gotcha. I just had the help of a friend is all, Naruto said with a grin as he then turned to Chief Bifong. Anyway, thanks for the offer, but I'm going to have to say no, the law and me just don't mix so well, Naruto said with a calm look. I figured that would be your response, Lin said. Don't let my words get to you, chief, I mean I don't like the law and all, and don't have the best opinion of it, but Naruto then scratched the back of his head as he looked to the side. Even I know it deserves better than me, Naruto said with an embarrassed blush. Lin couldn't help but smile at Naruto's statement. Besides, Naruto then appeared next to Mako and wrapped his arm around him. Seeing as Mr. Fantastic here is being promoted to detective, it's going to be even more fun getting on his nerves, Naruto said with a grin, making Mako glare at him. You just know how to ruin a moment, don't you? Mako said with annoyance as pushed Naruto's arm off. What can I say? I'm a punk, Naruto said with a shrug and grin. Suddenly, when Mako looked towards Asami, Korra jumped into his arms, hugging him, and then she kissed him, shocking Mako, Asami, Bolin and Lin. Naruto looked at the 2 with shock before he had a look of sadness. Mako, I missed you so much, Korra said. Naruto looked down to the ground with sad eyes. It happened again, Naruto thought as he suddenly saw an image of a pink hair and also beautiful and sexy in his opinion, teenage girl with a teenage male with dark hair that looked like the shape of a duck's ass, sharing a moment right before he walked away from the 2. As Naruto made his way away from the group, he saw them all together. They all belonged together, he thought as he then looked at himself with a frown before he adopted a disdainful look. And where do I belong? Naruto thought as he glared at the side. He then noticed Mamoru at his feet holding the string of the duffel bag in his mouth. Naruto's look of disdain turned into one of somber happiness as he picked up his fox friend and bag and started heading out. Oh, did I forget to tell you? Korra's back, Bolin said with a nervous smile. Korra. I missed you too, Mako said with a small smile. Korra smiled as well, but then she remembered what Naruto told her back at the Eastern Air Temple. Mako, listen, I lost my memory when I was attacked by a dark spirit. You were attacked by a dark spirit? Mako shouted with shock and worry. Yeah. Naruto told me that before I left, you and I broke up, but I don't remember it. Is that true? Korra asked. Mako looked to the side with a somber look, and that was all the answer Korra needed. I see. Sorry about that, kiss. Korra apologized as she looked to the side with some sadness and embarrassment. Don't worry about it, Mako said. Hey, speaking of the blonde guy, where is he? Bolin questioned, making everyone look around for the blonde devil. Naruto. Korra said his name, feeling worried that he wasn't around. Outside. Naruto walked down the steps of the stairs as Mamoru went inside the bag and then popped his head out. Who am I kidding? Me being a good guy? Yeah, right. I'm a criminal and that's not going to change, Naruto said as he continued walking down the steps with a hand in his pocket. Mamoru then said something to Naruto. I'm not being moody over that kiss. Naruto exclaimed with a glare, making Mamoru roll his eyes at his friend's immature response before asking him something. What next? Easy. We're going to the South Pole, go into the spirit world, and mess Unalaq up before he wakes up this dark spirit, Naruto said as he noticed a parked car. He then made his way to the vehicle, put his duffel bag into the passenger's seat, jumped in and hotwired it to start. Mamoru then said something else to him with a raised brow. I did say that and I mean it, I'm not a good guy, but I made a promise to Korra's dad, and now the only way to keep it is to snuff out Unalaq so he can never hurt her, Naruto said as he grabbed onto the wheel with Mamoru saying something else. Yeah, he did say stand by her side, but she's a big girl. Besides, I knew that his words were a double meaning, Naruto said turning to Mamoru. He wants me to protect her, and the only way I can do that is to get rid of Unalaq permanently, Naruto said as he then put the car in gear and was ready to drive. Mamoru knew Naruto was kidding himself, the blonde was doing this because he wanted to protect Korra and keep Unalaq away from her, but he wasn't going to voice it. The fox then noticed Korra run out of the building right before Naruto drove off. Mamoru jumped up on the seat to see Korra trying to run after them, but at the speed Naruto was driving, it wasn't long before she was out of sight. Mamoru just sat back in his seat with his only thought that Naruto was being an immature yet selfless little idiot about the whole situation, but then noticed that Naruto drove behind the prison. Mamoru asked what was up. I just need to see someone real quick and I needed to do it in secret, Naruto said as he got out of the car. Stay here, Naruto said as he then flew up into the air and broke into the prison with his wind-enhanced strength. Inside the prison, Naruto beat up the guards as he made his way towards a huge cell that had a huge fancy decor, furniture, etc. that looked like a rich person lived in it, and there was one that was living in it. Varrick sat in his seat with Julie by his side as the two noticed the blonde standing in front of the cell. Well, look who popped in for a visit. Like the digs. Varrick Industries built this prison and I had this one specially made. I kinda figured I'd end up in here one day, Varrick said with a smile. So what's up, kid? Naruto couldn't even look Varrick in the eyes as he felt guilty for what he did to him. You what? I don't get it. Spit it out, Varrick said. Naruto looked down to the floor with guilt and sadness. I'm sorry, Naruto said. Varrick stared at him with a somber look on his face. Varrick then grabbed a cup of tea Julie had prepared for him and stirred it before sipping from the cup. Once he finished sipping the sweet liquid, he continued to stare at Naruto with the same somber look. I do not accept this, Varrick said, shocking Julie. I figured, Naruto said as he was about to leave. Hey, I said I don't accept this, I didn't say I was angry at you. I still love you like a son, kid, Varrick said, shocking Naruto and Julie. Seriously? After what I did? Naruto questioned, still in shock. Kid, people do crazy things when they're in love, Varrick said. But she's not with me, she's with him, Naruto said. It happens, Varrick said with a shrug. And you're okay with what I've done, Naruto shouted. Well, not really. I managed to get the place how I like it, but I'd rather be out of this cage along with Julie, Varrick said. They busted you too? Naruto asked Julie. No, I chose to stay with Varrick, Julie said. Well, your loyalty seriously runs deep, Naruto said. Either way, I don't expect you to just up and say sorry after what you did, Varrick said. Why not? Naruto questioned, still not getting the picture. Because you chose to do it for your own reasons to benefit you, I can't blame a man for that, and I could never hate you for following your heart. I'm happy you chose your own path, that's the first step of being your own man. And I'm proud, Varrick said with a huge smile. Naruto and Julie looked at Varrick in shock, with the latter smiling at her employer's statement. Naruto started to develop tears as his lips started to quiver. Naruto covered his eyes with his forearm as he shed tears. Hey, what's with you? Varrick asked with a raised eyebrow. Thank you, Naruto said. Kid, I don't accept this either, Varrick said. No, I mean thank you for raising me when we first met, Naruto said, surprising Varrick and Julie. I never told you this, but I had a rough time before we met. Something horrible happened before I came across those triad scums, and even though I had the BP and tough guy attitude, I was actually scared a bit, but when I met you, I learned to laugh and trust again. You taught me a lot of things and helped me with so much, even when I didn't need any help or even deserved it. You became precious to me, and even though I would wish to change a lot of things from my past, meeting you and the moments we shared was one of the things I would never change. You raised me to be someone that even though many wouldn't agree with it, but I'm proud of what you helped me become, because I can walk straight into this world with no fears, and you're one of the most important people who made that happen. Thank you, Varrick, for raising me, Naruto said, smiling at Varrick as his eyes continued to produce tears. Varrick was a man who always stayed strong during heartfelt and difficult times, but this was one of the times where he couldn't help but be teary-eyed himself as his lip quivered. "Oh, I can't take it anymore. Come here." Varrick said as he dashed to Naruto and hugged him from behind the bars, with the blonde giving into his emotions as well and hugged the businessman back. "Zhu Li. Come here and do the thing with us," Varrick said as he cried. Zhu Li just smiled as she made her way to them and joined in on the group hug. After a few moments the three separated and tried to act normal. "Hey, anyway, thanks and all that," Naruto said nonchalantly. "No problem," Varrick said. "Okay, I got the gut feeling that Korra and the others will come up to ask you for a little help, so do you think you could do me a favor and give them Zhu Li if they need it?" Naruto said, earning a look from the assistant. "I meant the battleship," Naruto clarified. "I suppose so," Varrick said. "Thanks," Naruto said with a smile. "Well, I guess this is goodbye," Naruto said with a sad smile as he extended his hand towards Varrick. "For now," Varrick said, shaking Naruto's hand with a smile. "I really am jealous you got to know real love, kid," Varrick said, releasing Naruto's hand. "Just put a ring on Zhu Li's finger and you'll probably get the same thing," Naruto said as he ran off. "Wait, what?" Varrick exclaimed as he and Zhu Li blushed red. Later, Naruto called back as he continued to run towards his escape route. "Come back here, you troublemaking delinquent," Varrick called out, shaking his fist in the air, but then stopped as Naruto was out of sight. "Teenagers," Varrick said as he headed back towards his seat, leaving a blushing Zhu Li. Later, at the docks. Naruto stopped the Sato mobile at the docks and grabbed his bag with Mamoru in it and headed for the nearest boat. He saw two males in it, so he airbended them out of the boat and into the water. Once he hopped in, he noticed the keys were still in it, so he smirked and started the boat up and rowed off towards the South Pole. Mamoru poked out his head from the bag and asked Naruto what was the plan. "What plan?" "We go in and bust up that crazed monarch," Naruto said with a dangerous smile. Mamoru just rolled his eyes as he just enjoyed the ride. "Time to end your plans, you snake," Naruto thought with great determination as he continued to head towards the South Pole to enter the spirit world. End chapter. So this part ends here. If you want to see next part of this series, like the video now and share the story with your friends. Bye bye.